Okay. So last session, the party took place in a lot of next step discussions of the Palace with the Emperor, Corstein, Render Klein, and Master Cleric Nantes about what to do about the Veladrakes. Clearly, the three of them together are a serious threat right now. There was a consensus that there was some sort of ritual they were trying to perform that the party was successful in stopping. So that seems like a temporary success. The party, in speaking with the Emperor, also received an Imperial writ about a specific item, a cloak of resistance that's known to exist within the city, one of the few remaining magical items that are known of in the city right now due to resources being pretty tight. It's known to exist at Apta Prill's exotic creature shop in the Warder's Grim region of the city. Simultaneously, Master Cleric Nantes, under discussion with the group, decided to go to the other temples within the city to try to gather resources and capable persons from there, while the Emperor is calling upon the ships out at sea to return to the city. It's known that it's going to be at least 8 days before those ships can get back physically, but in the meantime, there is a wizard that is within the Imperial Guard that is teleporting as many as they can in the meantime each day. The group, on their journey to the Warder's Grim to obtain that cloak of resistance, notice that the city streets are very clear. City folk are not around, city guard are not around, and you feel a strange noise and various sounds, almost like something's following you. At one point, you notice a flock of ravens up on the roof, in which one takes off and is invisible or bamfs away of some sort. Adolfir, you attempted to speak with them, but that particular raven did not speak back. At a certain point, closer to the Revan's Hall, you do get a sense of something large nearby, at which point you notice a group of zombie ogres. And at the same moment that you come around that corner and notice them, you notice that their eyes sort of shift as well, and there's a change in their demeanor as they start looking more towards the area where the group is, with their noses kind of held up high. So with that, is there anything, are you guys, currently you're standing behind kind of like a market stand that's fully covering you. Are you guys doing anything beyond just standing behind that market stand?
Medolfa's initial thought is to see if we can lead the ogres kind of to a trap, see if we can get them to lead them over by the vine doors that we came across in front of the Planetum. Okay. And so he's going to whisper that as a potential plan to the rest of the group and wait for their feedback. By the way, my browser still hasn't loaded into the session.
Yeah, mine too. I just tried.
Mine just loaded, so it took a little while.
Give it a little while. Okay, well, the Planetum is about 300 or 400 feet back from where you came. You do know that the main pathway back to the Planetum is a rather open kind of avenue where the market typically is, although there's a couple of market stands, specifically the one you're standing at. Looking back towards the Planetum, there's not that much cover between you and the Planetum itself at this moment.
Well, I mean, if we do this plan, we don't necessarily want cover. We want to be seen because we want to try and attract them in some manner.
Okay.
But my thought is like me lead them. Like if I remember the map correctly, there's a break in between the buildings that goes basically to the center point of the east wall of the planetum, and then north and south of that there is crosses the doorways where the vines are. My thought was to try to lead them to the planetum and then go north because I know there's a vine door at the north, and try to get them to cross that path, like try to intersect with right in front of that doorway. Okay. See if the vines will reach out and grab at least one of them.
Okay.
But everybody else doesn't have to do that. I'll be the goat bait.
What are the rest of you thinking about that as he's whispering that over to you? I don't know. So you can see the map now, Midolfir. Yeah, I mean, you definitely could get back there with like a bluff to have them sort of chase after you purposely, or you might not even need to bluff. It might be that they want to attack you so bad they'll follow you regardless. But how does the rest of the group feel about that?
Max is sitting there thinking, like, what spells could I use?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with, like, if I understand, Midolfir is going to do, like, a decoy kind of thing, draw them out, and then we would attack them, like, sneak up on them behind or something.
Yeah, potentially.
I generally, I nod in agreement with the plan.
Okay.
Can I do preparatory spells that take, well, I have a long cast time, or not cast time, but lasting time?
Yeah, keep in mind, with every action that you take at this moment, right now it's instantaneous, but with each action, I'm going to be able to roll to see if they sniff you out, find you. But yes, whatever actions you guys wish to do, go ahead and state them right now. We'll take them one at a time. So Max, which action are you looking to do? What preparatory spell are you looking to
I'm not going to do any because I'm terrible at sneaking, so I'm not going to do any of them.
Okay. So Midolfir, do you wish to lead the charge by purposely drawing their eyes towards you?
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that Midolfir does enact what he was looking to do, just to sort of move things along. So he's going to roll. Go ahead and roll his bluff check. And again, if anybody else is doing something simultaneously, speak now or forever hold your peace.
So, just because I'm still not 100% of what happened last session, I'm with the rest of the team, and so the expectation is I'll be going. Am I going with Midolfir or no? He's just going solo.
He currently said he was going to go solo, but nobody spoke up to say, I'll join you on it. You could certainly also join him with a... Ooh, you did join him with a bluff check. Oh, my bad. I rolled you instead of him. You roll your round. And again,
that was a good roll.
Yes, it was. So Midolfir kind of jumps out from in front of the market stand. Are you doing so also, Mayman?
I mean, since I apparently already rolled a bluff check, let's go with it.
Okay, well, re-roll it for me. Oh, is your screen still not loaded? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Man.
I have real dice, though.
Okay, yeah, roll the real dice. Tell me what you rolled. I'll trust you on it.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, with that 4 and your -1 modifier, you have a 3. The two of you stand out in the open with your weapons shining in what little candlelight and torchlight is available, sort of trying to draw the vision of these 4 zombie ogres. They kind of sniff, they look at you, and they kind of continue to scrounge about for something in the barrels nearby. One of them starts kind of approaching you, lumbering towards you, but the other 3 are not seemingly interested in approaching you two.
Hey, I switched audio over to my phone. Can y'all hear me listening?
Yeah, we can hear you very well. So your bluff check is kind of having one of them come over, but the other 3 are just kind of not paying attention to you.
So since I dropped out of audio, what was the consensus from the group as far as the plan to draw the back towards the wind?
Everyone's in agreement with you if you can execute it. Thus far, not so good.
Okay, then I'm going to tell them circle around the buildings to the north of where we're at. So they are going to go north and east and meet me over there, and I'm going to jump out, arms wide, flailing madly to draw their attention.
Okay, so you're going to intensify it now. Is Varg with you, Midolfir?
Yes, Varg was with us.
And Mayman, seeing Midolfir now jumping out wide open into the open, are you going to go with the rest of the group around to try to sneak attack, or are you going to stick with Midolfir?
I'll stick with Midolfir.
Okay. The two of you jumping around, doing jumping jacks out in this kind of open market zone in front of this stand. Now the ogre zombies look kind of like start lumbering towards you a little bit faster, dragging their limbs behind them. The rest of you, are you sprinting around? Max, you know this area better than Landray, but Landray's a lot quicker afoot. Are you guys, who's leading who around?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
I had an ogre under my control.
Yes.
What's up?
I think we found that he died.
Yeah, you found a dead carcass of a zombie ogre. Now, was it your zombie ogre? I don't know. You don't know.
Wouldn't I know that I still am exerting? Okay, alright, that's fine. No, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
Alright. So you said basically you want us to try to flank, right?
That's what Midolfir is calling out, yes.
So basically on the map where the party token is, y'all go north to the crossroad and then head west. So that you're coming back around. Here, I'll use the marker.
Like that?
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, and
okay.
I mean, I know I'm faster than Max, so I can lead, but also I'll just make sure, I stay at pace with Max.
Okay. It's going to take you guys a while. I mean, it's a solid to make that sort of roundabout of the block is a couple hundred feet. So there's a few rounds in here where Midolfir and Mayman, you're exposed.
Can we cut through where Max pointed? Does that shorten it at all?
Yeah, I thought that was basically what was happening. So it's still a couple hundred feet. I'd say it's about 3 to 4 rounds to pull off this maneuver.
Got it.
So Midolfir and Mayman, I need you guys to roll initiative. Albeit, I understand that you might have trouble, so I might have to do that for you. Let me know if you do need me to roll it or not.
Go ahead and roll mine.
I mean, I can roll real dice if you want.
Go ahead and roll me real dice. I will trust that you are honest.
It's a 12. I don't know the modifier.
Oh man, I just rolled a d20. I got a 21 on the dice, GM. With my modifier, that's an 87.
Your initiative is 1. So, what was the roll again, Mayman?
It's a 12. I love my dice, by the way. I'm going to take a picture for y'all.
Sure.
The only way I'd be willing to turn on my camera in Discord is if I aimed it downward into a dice tray.
All right, and Medolfir, you rolled a total of a 16. Let me go ahead and do some.
It's been one of my better initiative rolls of late.
Indeed. So let me add the rest of you. Now, I will tell you when you can approach the scene, but I'm adding you to the scene so you can at least be in the same place. So Lanray, Max, you're going to come from the north eventually. Okay. So. And of course, there's no telling when this might load up for you guys, so we'll see. I simultaneously have kind of a camera guy token that's operating, trying to keep track of like how quickly scenes load, and for him, it's loading quickly. So I don't know what's going on. I don't think it's on the server side now that I'm kind of looking at. I mean, it's refreshing quickly. So with that, that is initiative. So Medolfir, you are first to act. There is about 45 feet between you and the closest ogre zombie.
Basically, I want to move backwards, matching their speed to draw them forward. So,
Okay.
I hope Mayman picks up on my intention here.
So you're going. Sorry, repeat where you're going one more time for me.
So basically, due west, back towards the Planeton, down that main road. Basically, through the number 31 on the map.
Okay, this is going to be tricky for the GM.
So I think were these ogres in that alley that was west of where the party token was?
East, southeast.
Yeah, they were kind of in that zone in the alleyways. They spread out at certain points, but yes, this is leading north is where these steps go north up the alleyway. It's kind of an open zone in the intersection of that alleyway. So, Medolfir, you're going to run as fast as you can due west. Is that what you're saying? Towards the
Well, not as fast as I can, but basically keeping distance, right? So they're about 45 feet away, right?
Yep. Well, one of them is. The others are further.
I want to match their speed as they're closing towards me in the opposite direction, right? So I want to stay at like 45 feet away.
Okay. 45 feet away. Okay. You start moving west is what I'm going to say. That's going to take you off the map. So this is going to get a little tricky for GM, but, you know, theater of the mind. You guys don't have the screen anyways.
I mean,
okay.
we're trying to get them back to the planet's entrance, so...
Yeah, you don't know how fast these guys move, so just tell me a distance that you are going to move as your assumption.
Well, so basically, like, I'm not taking any, like, actions, right? So I'm going to hold action, and if they sprint, then I'm gonna match that and use my
action.
So that
makes sense.
As movement to match the speed.
Understood.
So to do that, you can't do a run full round action, but you can do a double where you do your movement and then hold your action to move more.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So you've moved.
Yeah, but my movement is going to be in reaction to their movement, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So you've moved 30 feet at this time and holding action to see how they react. Mayman, what are you doing as you see Medolfir now retreating from battle?
I'm going to cast Magic Weapon, which I think I still have as a spell, and then I don't know if I can quite keep pace with him, but I will try to keep pace with him. Because
Is it something you can do instantaneously?
Right now, it'll be a stand.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, it's in your first level. Okay, go for it. Oh, you need me to do that?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
screening up.
Okay. Okay, you have magic weapon +1 currently on your flail, I assume. Always.
Yep.
Okay. That is your action. Do you wish to move?
Yeah, I'll try to keep up with Mayman. However, not Mayman, but Motorfair.
Okay. You can move a total of 20 feet. So you're going to be a little bit slower than him when you move to there. You sort of hop over whatever crates, squeeze through, and make it to that point. That is your turn. The zombies are going to give... They're going to come for you now. They can move quite fast. This one moves 40 feet almost instantaneously. This one's going to pretty much, other than these crates, be able to move 70 feet total. It has to slow down just a little bit to get over these crates, but not by much. This one's going to also come towards you guys, 70 feet. And this one can actually get an attack. Oh no, he can't. Because of the terrain itself is slowing him down pretty substantially. So, with that, they are giving chase to you. This is going to turn into theater of the mind at a certain point, but they are clearly faster than both of you. And Mayman, you are slower than Medolfir. Medolfir, it is back to you. You are about... Now, you were holding an action, so I will allow you to react if you wish. Were you going to
Well,
faster?
I've got several questions. Number one, my map just loaded.
Excellent.
Oh my god. Is this oriented north?
It is oriented generally north. Yes. So Max and Lanray would be sneaking to the north right now. They're, let's say, 60-ish feet north of you guys right now.
So how did that one zombie ogre get to the north of us? Would he be coming in from the west? Or from the east?
That's what confused me too. I thought that we were going around the north and to the west and back in order to get the zombies that were already in the alley that was to the west.
No, sorry. The zombies were in an alley, sort of in an alley to the west of the Revens Hall.
I thought they were in an alley to the east and south of Revens Hall.
No,
that's,
you guys.
That's what I remember from that last session.
You know what? You're right. To the east of the Revens Hall.
Because we were on the southwest. We were on the southwest corner of Revens Hall.
Yes. So there's like a sort of zone where they all come, where a bunch of streets come together. That's really where you saw them, right? And yeah, the overall city map's not exactly accurate on distances. So.
Okay, but generally, if we're looking at the city map, they were on the southeast corner.
Yes.
Of Revens Hall. So how does that one zombie ogre that's on the map, how is he north of our position? Did he run northbound and got into this area? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Don't know.
That one zombie ogre doesn't make sense to me.
So my question is this.
It's a big city map, right? So like generally they were in that zone, but like they weren't clumped together. So they were spread out. Some of them were like north of it. Some of it were east.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we step back a little bit? If the ogres were to the east of where we were as a party, why did we go north and west? And like, why are we running in a giant circle if it's not to flank them? Because like, if we're doing, if you look at the city map right now, that's the path that we were saying, right? Like we were saying, we're gonna go like this in order to get to the other side of that 31 in order to get them. Like, why are we doing that?
To get it back to Medolfir, if you remember, initiated this by stating he wanted to get back to those vines, the banyan tree that's in front of the Planetum, to use it to assist you against these ogres. So the point of this is to trap them back towards there, is my understanding.
Yeah. That is.
You don't want all of us to be seen while you're pulling them back.
Basically, yeah, so that y'all can be there
Okay.
and maybe get in a better tactical position.
Okay, well, we're running way further than you, so we're not going to get there before. Right?
Well, you're going to be... Right, well, you are now, but I also didn't suspect that zombie ogres would be 70 feet from around, so...
Yeah. I mean, the best laid plans, so think on your feet.
No, but I wanted to make sure I understand what the plan was, because, like, if it's to flank, that's not going to happen.
Yep.
So this is not to flank.
It was the plan that I said for y'all to go the other way was to not have to do any direct contact with the ogres out these y'all are squishy. And I was going to try and draw it back, that way y'all could set up to be in a better tactical position once we do it over there. Okay? That was generally my big
Let's step back behind the table, because you guys had a split second to make a strategic decision. So this chaos is very much part of it. Okay?
No,
you guys have run 60 feet towards the north, Max and Lanray, on a very quick action to return back to the Planetum. You see the ogres have closed quickly on Mayman and Dolphir. You are within view if you choose to change your minds independently of what the plan was. Either way, Medolfir, it is back to your turn on round 2. What are you doing?
Okay, so here's my next question after all that. Those zombies ran up on us, right? Do I not get an attack opportunity on them?
They didn't get to you. They approached Mayman, who is slower than you. You took off further than Mayman because you were already behind.
I'll be kind of honest with you. I'm looking at the map, and they're like right next to my token.
They're next to Mayman. You're back off the map.
Okay. How far away from the one from the leftmost section of the map?
Right now, you are from them. The closest one is 20 feet. From Mayman, he is right next to him, and either way, they don't provoke an attack of opportunity upon approach, only within the threat range.
Right, no, but I have my held action.
You do. They are 20 feet away from you, and you have a held action.
So the one that's to the left of my token, even though my Medolfer isn't actually where the token is. I'm just saying I can't move my token.
Yeah, I can help you.
But what I'm trying to point out is on that map where my token is, the ogre that's to the left of where my token was.
Yep.
That's the one I'm trying to identify. He's within 20 feet of me. I want to execute a charge attack on him.
Charge is a full round action.
Yeah. You can't go one direction then charge back the other, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Because it requires
you can do it as part of your now action on round 2, unless you want to still hold on to the held action. Yep.
You have a free standard action. You can do whatever with you want, right? So.
Yeah, but melee at 20 feet doesn't work.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to, I don't know, persuasion and intimidate. I'm gonna try to draw those 2 that are closest to that side of the map. I'm gonna try to draw very easy. Because I'm befuddled about my laptop's performance right now, I'm not going to come up with anything, but basically can you roll me whatever it is.
Okay. I can control you. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
I'm going to try to goad them, so whatever check that is.
Okay, give me another bluff check now. So you're basically trying to draw them away from Mayman, being like, look, I'm so
I need you to roll it, though, is what I'm saying.
Yep, gotcha. So, not great. Not one of your strong suits. It is a -2. You rolled a natural 1 on that. regardless, that's still your round one. That was part of your round one. You're trying to get their attention, and they're like, Mayman's right here, and slower. And much like the chase of a bear against a group of people, it's all about who's the slowest. So Medolfir, it is back to you. You see Mayman is now being surrounded by these 4 ogres. Nothing you are doing is changing their opinion of that. What are you doing in round 2?
Now I'm going to execute a charge attack.
Yep, you can do that.
I want to move my token so that it is causing a flank situation with where Mayman's position is in relation to the ogre.
It'd be impossible to do that unless you wish to take some attacks of opportunity against you, because the only position you can do that is behind that ogre, and there is another ogre that will get an attack of opportunity, as well as the main one that's in front of Mayman.
It's fine. Just come next to me.
But there's an ogre in between where I'm at and where you're at.
No. If you look at the image, the only spot you can create a flank position with Mayman is on the right side of the first ogre. So to do that, there are 2 ogres that will get attacks of opportunity against you. So it is basically impossible to do a flank. You cannot get into flank position right now.
No, I was trying. I see. I didn't realize Mayman's token had moved from the last visual.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep up as best I can with the technology issues.
Okay. Charge attack on that one right on the
Okay. So, you are going to charge at the one in the front. That is viable. So I will go. I assume I need to roll it for you still.
Yes, please.
Okay. So you're going to get a single attack with that. Plus 2 on top of that. So that's 25 to hit. You strike for 23 points of damage with Bangorphil. It's kind of struck. You strike it on its shoulder, and its flesh just kind of lops off, and then it just goes and coughs up like this black mucus in front of you. Okay, that is your turn, Mayman. What are you doing?
I have that maneuver that lets Modolfir go again. So I'm going to do that thing. And I think the way that works is, I don't know where he is, but if I can get my side so I'm next to that wall, I would like to be next to the wall. And I think I get an attack, and then whatever, like he gets to go again.
Okay. You can move your token now, right? Or no, still?
I'm looking at a very shishy gray screen.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you are going to repeat it one more time, because I'm dealing with technological stuff at the same time. One more time for me.
5 foot step. I would just like to. I think I can move north 1 box to.
Medolfir currently occupies that north 1 box situation. He ran up and charged that same guy.
So this like whatchamacallit box, right? Like it looks like a house.
Yeah, but Medolfir currently occupies that space now.
Oh, well then never mind. Then I'm just going to do my thing, and I'm going to take. Do you want me to roll, or do you want to do it in the game?
No, I like physical rolls, so go ahead and physically roll it.
I rolled a 12.
Okay, a 12. And are you taking a full attack or just a single?
No, the way that skill works is a single attack, and then Modolfir gets to go again as she gets a full round.
Okay, so that's a plus 13 on top. That definitely is going to hit. Go ahead and roll me a 1d10 plus 9. Actually, it's 1d10 plus 10 because of your magic weapon.
I rolled an 8, so that's what, 18?
That is 18 points of damage against that same guy. He's looking a little bit weaker. The flail, as it strikes his rib cage, more of that black plague-like substance comes out of his mouth. The 2 of you that have run north, you notice now that the sounds of battle have begun to the south. I will say that you guys can enter here with your actions if you wish. are you guys continuing towards the planet of Landeray and Max?
Well, the next thing that should happen after my turn is Modelfear goes again.
I'll get to that. I just want to confirm with Max and Landeray whether or not they're going to react to the sounds of clear battle happening.
I need to do a listen check if I'm the one going to be initiating that. So let me roll that.
Oh God.
Exactly.
That's not going to go well.
If my listen was decent, I wouldn't roll it. I'd be like, yeah, I hear it. But all right,
Okay.
so that's my roll. Unless Landeray says otherwise, I'm just gonna keep going forward, right?
Okay.
I mean, do I need to roll for that GM or?
No, for you it's pretty much automatic. It's only Max who's completely senseless.
Yeah. I'll just turn to Max and say, Max, I hear what sounds like battle. We should head back, I think.
Okay, then I head back.
Okay, I will say only one round occurred, so you guys could full move basically back to this position. I believe both of you move 30 feet at a time, right?
Yeah, I do.
And Varg will be easily capable of getting back behind Modelfear.
And GM, as we were running back, I'm gonna look for ways to maybe climb to a higher ground on the houses here or whatever.
Okay. There is a building directly in front of you that is not as tall as the sort of monumental structures behind you that you could get up on. It's about 20 feet to the roof, though, so it's going to take you a round plus if you wish to do it that way.
Yeah, I'll just tell Max like I'm gonna climb as he runs. I like keep going back. You'll hit him. You know.
Okay. I'll say you could have initiated the beginning of that climb on your second sort of your action before you got to the point that you were. So you want to go ahead and do that and give me a climb check?
Yes, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
Yeah, give me a climb check then. Modelfear, it is going to be back to you. Okay, that's good enough to make progress up. So you're up 10 feet of height is what you gained on that. Yeah, Max.
GM. So to get to the spot that you've placed my token was a full round movement?
Yes, because you took a full round movement in the opposite direction before this.
Okay, but here's the thing. I'm a wizard. I don't necessarily need to do a full round movement to get within range of stuff. So
True. You want to have an action still left? You wouldn't be able to see anybody.
What?
Well, there's a building in your way from where the battle would be otherwise.
Okay, never mind. Keep going.
Yep. Okay. Modelfear, it is back to you.
Okay, I'm the one in front of us, full attacks with power attack pump full.
Sorry. Keep in mind, this only gives you... So this is from Mayman's tactic that he used. You only get a standard action back.
Standard action with power attack.
Oh.
Full. Well, standard action for me is 2 attack.
I need to read that again. Mayman, can you clarify? Does it give him... How does it work? I'm talking specifically about Mayman's... Does that switch the position permanently? Mayman?
It does. And because he goes after me... I'm pulling it up right now, and I'll read it. Let me...
Yep. Yeah, that's what I want to clarify.
If it gives me another standard action, it means I get full attack.
No. Let me just clarify some 3-5 rules. Standard action. So the only time you get a full attack is if you have both your move and your standard action together. But I think this is going to happen anyways because Mayman's tactic, I believe, permanently relocates you behind him and you get your entire turn all over again. I'm trying to read it at the same time he is.
It's
just
White,
to make sure.
White Raven's tactics is what it is, right?
Where did I hide that?
The way that this is sorted in the Adobe is crap. You have to find what school it's in first before you can. It's not alphabetized. You got to find the school first.
Mm-hmm. Give us a second.
When you use this maneuver, select an ally within range. Her initiative count immediately equals your initiative count -1. She then acts on her new initiative count as normal. If she has already acted in the current round, she can act again. If this maneuver would not change your new ally's initiative count, it has no effect.
Okay.
She has not yet acted during this round. Her initiative count changes, and she acts on that count as normal. She does not act on her original action count. So he gets a full round, is what I'm meaning.
Yeah. So Manopher, you do indeed get a full round. If you wish to take a full attack, go ahead and do it.
I do, and I'm back in Boundary.
That's awesome. Go ahead and roll it yourself if it works.
But with hardware acceleration enabled, so each click takes forever.
Yeah, fair. Try to get that
just
in between your turn and now. Try to get that resolved, I guess.
All right, here comes the full attacks. They'll pop up as soon as
Okay.
Are you absolutely kidding?
Now that you're back and rolling for yourself, not great. You miss with both attacks, unfortunately. That is your turn. You can take a 5-foot step if you wish. Do you wish to take a 5-foot step?
No.
Okay. Noted. Just updating these real quick. With that, it is back to the ogre zombies' turns. They are going to strike out against you guys. I'm going to go ahead and this guy, since they all act together, basically. Okay. He crit, but he fumbled on the crit confirmation, so it still strikes. Medolfir, you take 16 points of damage.
14. Well,
yes.
minus two for each hit. I don't know if that was one hit or two.
It was just one hit.
Can you take off my sheet? I'm restarting my route.
Yes, can do. Okay, this one's gonna approach as well. We're down to 69 points of health. This one's gonna approach, take a swing at you, Mayman. That is a 25 to hit. Does that strike?
I think it does.
Okay.
Barely.
You take 15 points of health. You are down 15 points of damage. You are down to 33. The other two ogre zombies are going to need to go around. This one squeezes through to this position.
Are any of them moving in which I would get a opportunity because of their pathing?
Not you, but Mayman, yes, because of that squeeze. So Mayman, do you wish to take an attack of opportunity against the one that just squeezed through?
I do, and unfortunately I hit refresh on my page, so I just got
Roll me a fresh dice.
I rolled a 2, so I'm not hitting Jack.
A 2 plus 13 is a 15. That does actually strike their AC. So go ahead and roll me a 1d10, I believe, plus 10.
I rolled a 6, so that's 16.
Okay. 16 points of damage against this one. And with that, Max, Lanray, it is back up to you. Max, you are first to act at the front. You are now visually seeing everybody in front of you. What are you doing?
Oh, did you just manually add our initiatives in?
Yeah, essentially you guys acted first when Medolfir went, so you guys were top of initiative here.
Landry, you want to go first since we're at the same number anyway?
Yeah, sure. I'll just continue my climb, GM, and then if I get up, I would like to get into sight and try to take out some ogres.
Okay, go ahead and give me one more climb check. Just to confirm you do make it up, you need to get a DC. Yep. That is plenty. So you are on top of the roof at the end of your move action. You're going to need to use your standard action to get sort of over to the other side and look down. You want to do that?
Okay, so I don't have line of sight on any of them at this point?
No, not from the corner that you started the climb on.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I will definitely do that then.
Okay. Go ahead and position yourself wherever on that roof that you wish. Max, it is your turn now.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Fireball from a scroll that's a lower CL, so I might have to remove the last. I'm looking at what the
Yep, it's going to be the baseline. So the DC is going to be, so it's a level 3 spell.
No, it's a CL8 scroll. So it's going to be 8d6. All right, so
I was talking about the reflex saves. 3.
Well, I'm gonna roll it. That's fine.
Okay. But
it's
the
just
DC
the damage we have to drop. The DC doesn't go with caster level. It goes with the spell level, so that doesn't change.
Yeah, but your intelligence, your modifier might tweak it. Is the problem?
What? My intelligence is the same regardless.
Sorry, your modifier for spells will affect the DC.
Yeah, so it's a 19 reflex save.
Okay.
The damage is 4 lower than what's listed there, so it's a 24 for the damage roll.
Okay, noted.
Because the last die on what I rolled on the 9d6 was a 4. So, 8d6, I just dropped the last one there.
Okay, there's... First one up front fails. Let's see. Oh, why did I actually click on a different one? They're all the same. So I can just do 3 of these. So the first one fails. The second one fails. The third one fails. The fourth one passes. So the one farthest in north, closer to the lane ray, passes, but and takes only half damage. All the rest of them take the full 24.
So 24 and 12?
Yep.
Okay.
With that, one of them does die. This one is no longer living or undead.
Is there any open space around here, or can you draw the outlines of the alley that we're all in?
Sure.
I'm having a hard time understanding the space around us. That's all.
Okay. So the alleyway behind you is kind of like that.
Going north?
Yep.
Okay.
And then
what about where the
like that further north?
Okay, is this a structure down here?
There is another structure that opens up like that down the street. Yep.
Okay. What's these guys? I go like that without provoking?
Yeah.
Alright, then I'll move kind of back into the alley so that I have more range.
Okay, noted. That is your turn.
And can I, as an object interaction, can I grab the twig off of my head and then stuff it in under my robe or something so it doesn't give off light around me?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and turn off the light. Yep.
No, I got it.
Cool. Mayman, it is back to you. You took a big wallop from a club just now. What are you doing? Varg is behind you, Badolfir is to your north.
I will... Can I... I have that power attack that instead of power attack, it gives me temporary hit points. I can't remember where it was.
I don't have your one memorized. Let me check. So basically what you're saying is it gives you hit points when you do what?
Give me a second.
You're talking about stone power, maybe? You gain temporary hit points equal to twice the number that you subtract from your attack.
Yes, up to a maximum concept. All right, so I'm going to take a full attack, but I'm going to use stone power when I use those attacks.
So that's going to be as much as -5. Is that what you want?
Yes, that's exactly.
Okay. And if you're physically rolling them, let me know what you roll.
I think I can... it's really slow because I have hardware acceleration off, but I think I can do the actual thing in-game.
Okay. Yeah, go for it if you can.
I'm just going to do a -5 to my attack.
Yep. And you're going to gain back 10 HP temporary after you do so. So I will add that temporary HP back into you.
And it's only to the attack roll, right?
It is only to the attack roll, not the damage.
GM, can you kick me again?
Sure.
Also, with the last I saw, there's an ogre to the south of Horde.
Not really to... Yes, there is an ogre directly to the south, actually, yes, of Horde.
Would he have got an attack button to be off and moved into that square?
He would have, because that guy was squeezing, so let me go ahead and roll Bard's. Bard does strike for 5 points previously on that guy. Now,
Okay,
Mayman.
do a strength contest to see if it works.
Okay, can do. Mayman, your first attack is a complete fumble, but the second attack does work. I have added those 10 HP temporary. That lasts, I believe, for a round. Let me go ahead and do Bard's strength check real quick. Not great. That's pretty much going to fail. Yeah, well, it was close, but he does fail the trip attack. So Mayman, 17 points of damage. Can you tell me which one you were striking? The one directly to your south or the one?
There's only one I could have hit, so I selected it in the game. The one to the southeast of me.
Southeast, gotcha. Okay.
And I'm going to take a 5-foot step. Maybe I could do it. There.
So as Medolfir is loading up again. There's a guy directly to your south, Mayman. There is a guy right there. I know it's all darkness right now, but there is a guy to your south. Here, let me just right here just for your visual, because you would be able to see that close to you. So you can't move south. Yeah, there you go. That's where you were.
Where's the guy to the south of me? All I see is the guy that I hit, which was the dude that I have selected. Did Modafil lose half his hit points while I wasn't noticing?
Yeah, you took a big 16-point hit. You weren't full health before.
No, not me, but Modafil on my displays.
He was already down 20-ish before session start. So yeah, he did take a hit. All right. So, Medolfir, I will snip it in where you're at. Let me see what the last action is here.
You gotta activate back to the actual battle now. Sorry.
So, Bard did test his bite. He failed on that. Mayman, you did strike with your flail, causing damage. That means that it is Medolfir's full turn now. Medolfir, that map that I snipped into Discord is still accurate.
I want to rage.
Okay.
Can you apply that to my character?
Can do. Gosh, where is that on your thing? Is it class feature trait? I will find it. And then what are you doing after you rage?
5-foot step to the right of where Nina is standing. On top of the body of the fallen leader.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do full attacks, but I'm doing the first one at the one directly south of Nina. And the second hit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep.
We'll see what the second hit does depending on the accuracy of the first hit.
Okay.
I do want to pump. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you have physical dice with you?
I don't.
Okay, no
Can
worries.
you just roll it in the sheet for me?
Yep. So this is going to be
I do want to pump power attack up to 4.
Okay, will do. So this is full attacks, and we'll see where the second one goes. Okay. The first strike that you come through is a 21 total for 31 points of health of 31 points of damage. That is enough to take down the ogre directly to your south.
Second hit to his right.
Okay, that second hit as you swipe back is a critical. You rolled a nat 20, and your critical does confirm with a nat 17, total 29. That is 58 points of damage as you just carve up these two that are directly south of you with that one strike. That they are both now dead.
Barg is not going to move. Barg is going to stay.
Okay, got it.
And then I'm gonna turn to be facing towards that last ogre.
Got it. He is going to get an attack on you before you are able to do that. He can reach you with his club without moving. 12 to strike is not going to strike you.
No, sir.
His club can reach 15 feet. Holy shit!
No, 10 feet.
I'm
He's here. Yeah.
So that is his failed attempt. He's kind of like gonna frustratedly take a step back and try to like size up. Takes a 5 foot back. That is his turn.
Man,
why did he get an attack of opportunity on Motorfear?
He didn't. That was his turn. That was the zombie's turn.
I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted to grab that great the whatever the club was that can reach 15 feet. I was like, oh man, and I disappointed myself.
Not a reach club. Landray, from on top, you can see that Medolfir is taken back over on the combat. You do see one still alive. What are you doing?
I'm gonna just try to nail him in the head, basically.
Okay. You do have point blank, all the fun things that you get, you do have activated right now.
I do enjoy fun things. This is not an aberration or elemental, right?
Nope. Super undead.
Yeah, that's what I was not hoping.
I assume your rolls work quite well. Okay. As you fire off multi-shot, the first one strikes him right in the shoulder for 10 points of damage. That second one you fire, you're like, oh, okay, I see how the wind is. And you fire it off. It is a natural 20 for a total 40.
Hell yes.
The critical does confirm for 18 points of damage. And then your 31, your final arrow comes through. How do you want that arrow to kill this guy?
Just right through the side of his temple.
Okay. As your third arrow comes through, you see it go through the temple and then out the other end as his skull just kind of collapses. Whatever black material was in their sort of chest cavities and mouths pours out. It is dead. As you survey around, Lanra, you do not see anything else moving. That is an enemy. Extra dead indeed. A moment passes and the streets are back to being completely silent.
I want to go to the Reven's Hall.
Okay.
And when we were looking in the windows, we saw the people and like, muffled voices and kind of panicky.
Yeah.
How are they?
Sure. As you move back towards the Reven's Hall now, you do see persons in the windows that are calmer now, and you do notice that the door kind of creaks open and a set of eyes kind of looks through the door.
Are you all safe in there?
Yes, we're quite safe now. Can we come out and go to our houses?
I can't tell you the rest of the streets are safe, but this immediate area seems to be safe for the time being.
A couple of them kind of step out and run across the street to various houses nearby. Some of them stay within. You notice another door to the Reven's Hall opens up now. One that's kind of an offshoot to the building. and you see a familiar face stepping out from that. You see Render Klein stepping out. And he's speaking with somebody through the door. Max, you recognize this person that he's speaking with as Lord Rains Pendafir, who's kind of the consort to the city, that's equivalent of like the mayor that he's speaking to.
Render Klein is the current captain of the guard.
He is. He was kind of this gruff figure who was sent off to the customs house, and he's returned now to be the city guard leader. He doesn't seem to be aware of a battle happening as he's in conversation with this person.
Render.
As you call out his name, he kind of looks over his shoulder, and you overhear him kind of say, "I'll get it done. Thank you." And he kind of looks over his shoulder and he walks towards the group and he starts noticing dead ogre zombies around. You guys seem to have run into a bit of trouble out here.
You could say that. What has gone on here?
Sorry, I had to have a quick meeting about some matters with the wise men of the gold sleeve. Where are you all headed off to? Perhaps I can join in.
Did he notice the dead giant zombies that are like fresh?
Yeah. He's kind of like looking around saying like, yeah, you guys ran into some problems out here. I couldn't hear anything within the Rebels Hall. He seems to not have noticed the battle happening out here. You're not sure.
Max has notoriously quiet fireball spells.
It's true. There is nothing in the fireball that specifically says it explodes.
It's got that
That's
silent
canon now.
violent,
That's canon. That's canon.
it's that silent but violent attribute.
Yes. Lanray. Render, for the first time that you've seen him, seems kind of like there's something nervous about what he's saying. He's kind of like, where are you guys headed off to? But you could have sworn earlier when you all were talking in the palace, he knew that you guys were heading over to After Prills. He took off earlier from the palace than you all did, but he would have known that. That was part of the conversation that was happening. Yeah, Max, same. Where are you all headed off to now? Seems trouble follows you. I should stay nearby.
Medolfer would have picked up, like, he would have known where we were going, right? Medolfer would know that he knew where we were going.
I'd say in general, you all know that he knows where you guys were planning to go. Maybe he's meaning like, well, where are you going now? Have you already been there? I don't know.
Does he have anything covering his neck?
No, it's wide open. He's got his regular sort of plate armor on. Actually, you know what? He does have kind of like a little bit of a scarf around his neck. Let's see.
Detect magic, retransformation, or transmutation.
You start to detect magic on him. He goes, Max, what are you mumbling on about over there? He starts getting kind of suspicious of you.
Can I, here's what I would like to do.
Sure.
He was in that audience with the king, correct?
Oh, yeah.
I am going to just pick something that he said in that audience with the king, but say he said the opposite, just to see if he remembers saying it, because I don't think he inherits the memories of like whoever he turns into if he was a doppelganger. So I'm just going to deliberately try to lay out, like a falsehood and then maybe a truth, and ask him what he thought about the king when the king said this or whatever. And
give me a bluff check. Basically what you're saying is like, he was talking with the king about returning the ships and how to do that. So you're going to be like, and how the ships are going to take multiple weeks to get back, or something along those lines. So give me a bluff check to see how well you perform that.
Yeah, or like, yeah, okay, let me find the bluff.
Yep. Okay.
I'm pretty damn bluffy today. That's like a nat 20.
That's damn good.
That's a critical 20.
Nicely done. Let me just check against his. Okay. Yeah, let me just do that real quick. He is not particularly. Okay. He kind of, for a moment, starts saying, "Yeah, wait, no, that's not right. They'll be back in 8 days. You must be mixed up, Mayman." So he accurately does recognize what was discussed in the palace as he corrects you. Again, where are you all headed off to? Perhaps I can be of assistance.
You knew where we were headed off to.
Oh, you all are still heading to After Prills then. Well, that's good news. I have some things I need to take care of there as well. Shall we?
I still cast my detect magic. What do I see?
As he's kind of annoyed at you, Max, about detecting, you're clearly casting something at him. You're not hiding that in any way. As you sort of scan him, you don't pick up anything. Let me check. Yeah, you don't pick up a single thing of magic about this guy. Nothing. No, nothing he's wearing, nothing he's doing, and definitely not him himself. You done eyeing me, boy?
Alright, so were you in the castle just now when we were talking?
Yes, have you lost your mind? He looks over to Medolfir and Mayman. What's the wizard on about? Of course I was in the castle.
Then why are you asking us where we're going?
Oh, I didn't know if you'd already been there. But I'm here to help. So let's head over there. You still have that writ from the Emperor about the Cloak of Resistance?
He give Max a thumbs up when I block my body so he can't see me, but I'm like,
okay. Mayman's giving you a signal that it's okay. Thumbs up.
Okay. I stop trying to detect my. Well, you know what?
You can hold it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have it on while we're walking. Doesn't hurt to see if there's any auras on our way.
Yeah, 10 minutes or so. Okay. You all do start heading on your way over to the Warder's Grim. Now, Max, as you're walking, you do pick up some faint auras of magic that, would not be crazy. There's some magic shops here that you pick up on. They're faint. It might be lingering to some extent. You notice them through some shop windows. Eventually, you guys do make it to the front steps of After Prills. It's a large kind of iron door. Unusual compared to the rest of the shops in the Grim. Render looks at all of you and says, well, we can go in through the front door, but After's kind of a prickly type. He might not be taking guests right now. And then he kind of picks up a key from his back pocket. It could be of some use, though. It's a master key. Only really the Imperial Court has this. We can go in through the back way if you all wish to get over with the business. After's just not really, he takes some convincing sometimes. The Emperor has allowed him to do his exotic creature shop in town. It's not necessarily legal, but it's good for the Emperor. It allows us to continue research on certain things. I just don't want us to run into any trouble.
I kind of shrug. I think it's fine, unless anyone. Max. I don't know who's facing right now. Is it Max or Modal Fear? But sounds good to me.
Okay. Back door. Anybody against going in through the back door?
No, but I'm keeping a wary eye on this dude.
Okay. Render's gonna do something real quick here. Okay. He looks at the group. He puts the key back into his pocket. He goes, "It's no worry. I'm here anyways. Me and After go back pretty long ways. We'll go the normal route." And he steps up to the stairs and he kind of clanks on the metal door with his armor. A moment passes, but eventually a slit in the door opens up and it's After. And in a kind of similarly gruffy voice, he kind of says, "So you're here on business of the Emperor? I take it has to do with the wandering bands of undead I have seen outside." What does he want from me, though? And Render kind of goes, "You're looking at this all wrong. He doesn't need anything from you. It's just that, we need to borrow some things for a moment. So how about you let us in and we'll have a talk?" And a couple moments pass, and eventually, clink, 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 all the locks start coming off of the door, and eventually this massive iron door kind of opens up. "All right, you can come in. I guess all of you can come in." And as Render walks in, you notice that After's like eyeing Varg. And he looks over to you, Manolfer, and he goes, "That's a good wolf. That's a good wolf, big wolf."
He's proven his loyalty and his value many times over. He is a very good boy.
Yeah, I have some dog treats in here if you want to give him some. As you walk in, okay, he kind of tosses one that's nearby the door. Okay. You guys here. You walk into a space that opens up much larger than it seems on the outside. You see now in this light After Prill. Let's see if that shows up. Yep, there we go. An eclectic-looking person wearing almost like a taffeta outfit, holding a bullwhip, and very gruff, long hair, long gray hair, big, strong, kind of square jaw. Him and Render start sort of chatting, and After steps back behind his counter. You guys start looking around and notice there's a lot of strange animals in this place. Notably, you notice up in the upper level, you see here this rather large Zazir who is currently inside of a cage, and After just kind of goes, "Oh, that's just Burpee. Burpee's a good boy," and he tosses him up like this piece of steak, and as it's flying up into the cage, he chars it with a little bit of flame that comes out, and then takes it in his mouth. Okay, so you said you had something you need to talk about. And Render kind of takes out a shovel and goes, well, these gentlemen have a writ from the Emperor, and I think you know why I'm here. So I'm just going to get to it. And Afta just kind of looks angry. Yeah. He looks at the rest of you. And what is it that you guys want from me?
I just look at
we're
him.
here.
Sorry.
We're here for the cloak, right? Not a pay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just look at him and I say, I hear you have a cloak that we might be interested in.
Oh man, you're gonna take the clothes off my back, this cloak? And you notice that he's talking about the sort of taffeta wear that he's wearing on his back. Oh, I got this on one of my travels. Fine, but you don't let it get damaged, okay? He watches Render. He doesn't seem to care that much about the cloak, even though the cloak is quite valuable. He's paying attention more to Render, who's walking around with the shovel and kind of tapping it on the second floor of this pet shop.
Roll a what's the thing check?
Sense motive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he acting like Render's actions are seemingly strange to him?
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're doing a sense motive on Afta. Okay, you got a 20.
Ooh.
Okay. There's some sort of relationship that you're not aware of between Afta and Render. Render seems to know where he's going in this pet shop as he's tapping along with this shovel. Afta, in between some small talk with you guys as he's, saying he's going to take off his cloak, kind of cringes each time Render taps with the shovel. Seems to be paying attention substantially to Render. He seems like he knows. He seems knowingly like what Render is doing. He looks back to you all, and he looks over at Max.
Is my detect magic still going, or is it gone?
At this point, it'd still be going. It's at the tail end, but yeah, it's still going. Why? What are you focusing on? His cloak is definitely giving off an aura right now.
I don't.
Okay. Yep.
Depends on how you want to interpret the detect magic spell, but
it's giving off like a faint abjuration.
Is there any transmutation around?
You are not picking up transmutation anywhere. Actually, you know what? There is a bit of transmutation. He's wearing some sort of a necklace, like a periapt, that is giving off a moderate transmutation aura, actually. Yeah.
Do you mind taking that period off for a second?
He looks at you and he smiles. You want me to take the periapt off now too, huh?
I didn't want you to give it to me. I just want you to take it off for a second.
I got a joke. You like jokes? And kind of looks around, doesn't really wait for you to answer.
I hate jokes. I speak over him and I say I hate jokes.
Yeah. One day this man walks out of his house to toil in the fields, and he sees a snail on his steps. So he picks it up and he chucks it over his roof into the back alley. And the snail bounces off a rock and cracks its shell all to shit and lands in the grass. And as he's doing this, Render is like snapping the shovel and then goes, "Oh, I think I've hit the payload." And then after returns. So the snail, he's lying there dying, but doesn't die. It eats some grass, it slowly heals, it grows a new shell, and after a while it can crawl again. One day the snail up and heads back to the front of the house, And finally, after a year, the little guy crawls back onto the steps. And right then, the man who's going out to the fields sees the snails again. And so he says, and then After's face turns completely, like, serious. What the fuck's
Hand
your
on my
problem?
sword.
As you put your hand on your sword, at the same moment, he looks at Max and goes, what the fuck's your problem? And the whip comes out. He's going to whip attack Max.
Attack him.
Okay, simultaneously, Max, a 20 to strike you. I believe the 20 does hit you, Max.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, you take 6 points of damage. Medolfir, you are able to close in the distance that you are between him and strike also. There's a 5-foot gap between you and the counter. You are able to approach the counter and strike back. Go ahead and, are you able to roll? It would just be the first one, not the second one, sorry. So, as a reaction, essentially. So, that is a 28, which definitely will hit. You do 28 points of damage. He smiles, and as quickly as you saw him, he moves with almost impossible speed. He is like a blur, and you see his form begins to change as he moves. And up
As he
above,
moves, does that give me an attack of opportunity on him?
let's see. No. He's going to basically utilize his full action here. The rest of you can do something in the meantime, but let me just explain what's happening. As he's moving away, disengaging, you see that his hair starts almost to like pull back. There's something almost feral about him. He moves in a blink up the walls. He is almost immediately 10 feet above you and 10 feet away from you, high up in the air. Render above is yelling, "What the hell? You guys were supposed to keep an eye on him." And at that moment, there's like a whistle from After's lips.
Hey, GM.
And a set of tentacles, hold on, a set of tentacles reaches out and starts grabbing towards Render. Max, what are you doing?
Okay, he hit me with a melee weapon.
Yes.
He has to save against the daze whenever anybody hits me with a melee weapon.
Okay, great point. What's the save?
22. Will.
Oh, he's got a really good will. Let's public roll this. 29.
Okay.
So all of that occurs. I'm going to hold off on this. You guys are going to once again start session in combat, hopefully with better technology next week. Or maybe I'll join up a little early and we can do some testing to see if there's any glitches or anything. But this...
Wait.
Yeah.
GM, sorry to clarify. Do I have the cloak or no?
No, he didn't take it off him yet. He's still holding on to it.
Gotcha.
Currently.
Okay.
Yep. As well as this periap that he was wearing.
So I must have missed this. So like we came in here, the king gave us a writ to get the cloak from him. We asked for him the cloak. He said no. We asked for the periapt, and then he hit Max and ran up a wall.
The cloak he was okay with turning over. He hadn't turned it over yet. He was intent on watching Render, who's trying to do something up above on the second floor of this space. Max asked about the periapt, which was giving off a particular aura of concern, and asked him to take it off. And that's the moment where Afta told the joke and struck Max with a whip. And then chaos ensued. Medolfir struck back, and now he is up the walls quickly. And you see also that the Zazir that he has in one of the larger cages has also suddenly become kind of upright and on the ready. It is still within the cage, however. So I'm going to go ahead and pull everyone into here. Let me just get...
Ooh, ISO.
Indeed. There's a lot of levels to this particular map, so let me describe for a second here what y'all are looking at. So you guys are generally in the first floor. When you came in through this doorway to the right. And there was kind of a long corridor that eventually came around between these kinds of cages here, and you guys ended up in this central zone of the pet shop. Afta was kind of back here. He jumped out in front of his desk and started climbing immediately when last turn occurred. That was before all initiatives were rolled, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and ask for roll initiative. And Render is up above. Let me go ahead and add his elevation in here. It's 15 up. Okay. So, looks like Lanray is up at the top. With that, let's go ahead and begin. Lanray, you see Afta immediately taking up something about his visage is like almost morphing before your eyes. His hair that it was already kind of curly and long becomes something different, like a mane almost. He is not transformed, but there's something different about Afta right off the bat that you are spotting. What are you doing?
And I mean, is Afta, he is very much like trying to hurt us, trying to attack us, or is he going after Render? Like, how did that play out?
I believe in the last sort of instantaneous round, he did whip towards Medolfir. But at the same time, and Medolfir did strike back immediately with his attack of opportunity from that. So there is combat happening definitely between you guys. He is not a friendly at this moment.
Just to clear that up, I attacked him as a reaction to him trying to attack Max.
You are correct. The whip was towards Max. He's the one that took the 6 points.
And then when he took off, I think he whipped out at me, man. It wasn't at Medolfir, I don't think.
There's only one attack with the whip, and it was towards Max. I think your attack of opportunity came as he sort of strafed across, because originally he was directly adjacent to you all here. His movement is like a flash. It's crazy fast. It doesn't even look realistic. It almost looks like somebody who is hasted.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, Lanray, with all that in mind, what are you doing?
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I am going to fire some arrows at him just to kind of see if I can even hit him. GM, do I know he's not one of my favorite enemies, is he?
No, he is, unless you have humans as humanoids as one of yours. No.
Nope.
As far as you can tell, he is humanoid. Okay, those are pretty darn good. Let me just check one thing. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, those
it's
do
funny
strike.
The rolls are sucky.
Yeah, well, you do have a good BAB. Yeah, man, you got a... Wait, how did you even get that? You got a 20 plus 20 somehow on your roll?
+6, +5, +10, +1.
Yeah, where's
Yeah.
that?
Right now, and then a -2.
What's the plus 10 coming from? I gotta check this out. So you have a base attack of plus 10. That's where that's coming from. So where's the rest of that stuff coming from? 6 and 5. Huh. Let's see. 6 is coming from your dex. That's accurate. So that's plus 6. What the heck is the plus 5? Sorry, I'm shocked by the plus 20 to your attack bonus. Huh, what would be the plus 5?
Understandable.
And it's on every attack as that plus 5. I'm just trying to think what it could be. Did you do any kind of check marks when you did it?
I only did point blank and precise, but that shouldn't give me a bonus.
That would get point blank would give you the plus 2 or plus 1, I believe.
+1, yeah. Sorry, that's the +5 bonus or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to check into it later. I don't know what that's coming from.
Yeah, I wish I did too.
Huh? Anybody got any ideas what else it could be?
I mean, the only thing that really makes sense to me is like power attack, like for a melee hit, but
I wish it would show how your combat attack is calculated right now.
I mean, that's not from my bow, is it?
You got a plus 1 on your bow. So actually that might be the plus 1 is coming from your bow. Did you... So the point blank maybe is what's causing that. Let me try one thing. Sorry to hold up right now. Let me just check one thing.
Point blank is a +1.
I want to know what it is because I want it to apply to my rules too.
Right.
Is it precise shot maybe? Does that affect any?
No,
Did you...
I mean, precise shot doesn't.
Okay. Well, it is what. So
Precise
either way,
shooting into a melee, isn't that what that does?
that would be like a -4, but he's
Right.
not shooting into melee because AFTA did like retreat, did the equivalent of a retreat.
No,
Okay.
precise shot counters that -4. That's why
True.
you get
Right.
precise mark.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yes. So he can ignore that. Okay. Well, it is what your character sheet is saying. I will dig into it later, I guess, but it is accurately depicting that. So, okay. Yeah. What a freaking shot. So those are 16. If it hits 22 points, I in the middle of this forgot to check. Yeah, that does strike. So you do 22 points of damage as these 3 arrows fire up from the ground towards AFTA, who is in the process of climbing. So 22 points of damage there. Okay.
And
You
I'm
still
gonna
have a
take-
swift action.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a 5-foot step, and I want to try to climb. My plan is to climb up that thing.
Okay, sure, yeah. So you can prepare for that by going to that spot right there.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. That is the end of your turn. Burpee up above starts kind of like clawing with his little like T-Rexy arms at the cage, and like some smoke just starts to puff from its nostrils. It is right at the door of the cage, but is not able to do anything. AFTA's turn is next. So, AFTA is going to continue to climb until he is fully up at the top. He's going to hop up with complete ease, not stopped in any way. And then he whistles. That was a terrible whistle. Better. And the tentacles that are trying to enwrap and envelop Render are going to try to instantaneously kind of squeeze at the same time. I'm going to roll their strength check. So Render's got to beat a 34. Not going to happen. Would have taken a natural 20. Render is grappled by these tentacles that begin to squeeze him. He takes 2d6 points of damage. Takes 6 points of damage. We will see how he resolves that. With that, Afta is going to continue to encircle at the top. He just runs across these tentacles and ends up on top of Burpee's cage. And it's at this moment, he takes his whip and he just kind of slashes it against the door to the cage and then yanks it back quickly, opening the cage lock. So that is Afta's turn. Burpee Prill is now free and was holding their action. He is going to go ahead and jump out and position directly in front of Max. And that will be both of their completed turns at that point. Again, from on top, from below, you can see Afta's visage more lion-like. His facial features have started to look almost cat-like up there. Finally, Render Klein. Oh, you know what? I forgot to roll Max's initiative, so let me go ahead. Ooh, that's not great. I'm going to say Max was holding turn to this moment since the Burpee Prill was coming. I will say, as Burpee tried to come out, he would have cast... Let me see. I had a list of his castings that he's likely to have done. Let me see what he's got. So, I think as Burpee would have been coming out, as he's holding his turn, he would have cast Slow. It is one subject per level. Let me just read this. One subject per level. How far apart can they be? No two of which are 30 feet apart. So he would have cast that when Afta and Burpee were together. Let's see how it goes. So a DC 19 will save. That's pretty easy for Afta. He's going to have to roll pretty badly. Afta rolled a total 33. Burpee, however, does not have a good will. It's not a bad will. Rolls a 12. So, Burpee is slowed by Max's action. And we'll add that modifier to him. I don't know if Burpee's a female or a male. Okay, with that, it is back to Render now that we've resolved that. Render's going to try to slash at the tentacles as opposed to fighting the strength of them. He is going to make an attack with his bastard sword. Okay.
Nice.
With those attacks, 32 points of damage is enough to cut through the tentacle that is holding onto him, the primary one. He is loosened from the grip of whatever this beast is, but he is still within, because he took a full attack to do that, he is still in its grasping range. He will take a 5-foot step, but this is still within the grasping range of that creature. With that, it is now Mayman's turn. Mayman, what are you doing?
So, what's Afta doing right now? He is up there by the tentacle on the second level.
Yeah, he used his entire turn to kind of jump over the tentacles, come over here, and release Burpee last time.
And there's smoke coming from this lizard thing's face.
Oh, yeah. From past experience, you guys, well, Mayman, you did not experience this kind of a creature, but there is smoke coming from this dinosaur-looking like creature, yeah.
And because it's ISO, I'll ask, how far away is this dinosaur thing from me?
From you, it
Is it still like 10, 15? Is that what it
20,
is?
20 feet. It's right in front of Max right now. And you do have a clean line towards him. The barrel right here won't stop you from standing in that spot.
Just because I've never done it, can I? Is there a space behind him? Can I? If I bull rush him, will he get pushed away from Max?
Yeah, there is. There's kind of Afta's desk back here. There is a bit of like a 10-foot by 10-foot office space back there. So yeah, that would work.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a proper bull rush, and then I will try to move him farther away from Max.
So, as with all things 3-5, we got to go through the flow chart of bull rush.
Yeah. So I take a charge, so I will move up next to him. He's not more than one size category.
No, he is the same size as you. And in fact, for this purpose, he is medium sized, so you are actually a size larger than him, given your racial trait.
He gets an attack of opportunity on me.
He does.
I do not have him.
Not if does it specifically say that's a charge? Like a charge?
No. As part of a bull rush. Bull rushes provoke attacks of opportunity. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So he is going to take a bite attack as you approach him. 20 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. You take 9 points of damage as you rush forward, and the Zezir's wide maw of a jaw kind of wraps into you. Does graze you. So take 9 points. All right. Go ahead and now the next step would be there are no other defenders, so we're past through that point.
You and the defender make opposed strength checks. You add a +4 bonus for each size category you are larger than me. +4. You get a +2 of charging, so I get a +6.
Yep.
And then he does not get a +4 if he has more than 2 legs. He's only got 2, right?
He's only got the 2 like a raptor, so.
So I get a +6 and he doesn't get anything.
Yep. So here's his roll. That's beatable. Very beatable. Okay, it was close. You do slam into him. You beat him, so you push him back 5 feet. You only beat him by that margin, though, so you don't push him additional amounts.
That doesn't. The +6 is just my strength bonus. It doesn't include the +6 I get for the bull rush. So it's actually a 28.
So it's a 28, just barely missing the additional 5 feet, regardless, though. Let me check. It's actually, if you beat it, then every 5 points. So you do actually move him back 10 feet. So in that process, he is going to be pushed back to here. This is underneath, basically. And by doing so, you do cause him to slam against the desk area. He is going to take some damage from that. He's going to take a 1d4 damage from that. So he takes a full 4 points of damage.
Oh, even what corner?
Yeah, it's like when you bump your elbow on the corner of the table. That's essentially what he just took. Let me see. Is there anything else that happens with the bull rush after that?
I think that's my full turn. I don't think I can do anything else.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
Unless. Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, because it's essentially the equivalent of a charge, which would be the end of your turn also. Okay, Max is saved for a moment here. It is Varg's turn. Medolfir, do you want Varg to act after you or before you?
Yes, after me.
Okay, so I will just go ahead and adjust his. So what are you and Varg doing?
I'm going to close distance to the Zazir.
Okay.
By going around Max, basically.
Sure. You can go between Mayman and Max too, but either way, you can definitely get there.
And I'm gonna hack and slash at him.
Okay.
Sorry, I was playing 5e last night, so just remind me. Since I moved, I only get a single attack, or I get my full attacks.
Yeah, you move more than 5 feet, so you only get the single attack.
Okay, yeah.
But it can still be a power attack if you wish.
Yeah, I'm gonna wall it. Well, I hope 17 hits.
Just barely. The Zazir otherwise would have been able to kind of avoid it, but from that bull rush being flat-footed now, having bumped into the desk, you are able to slash into him, causing 38 points of damage. Okay. It's definitely taking a bruising. You have a swift action if you have something, but otherwise that would be the end of Medolfir's turn.
Damn, I should have done it before. No, I'm going to hold off on that.
Okay.
My free action rage.
Sure. So what do you want Varg to do?
So real quick, just lay of the land. Are there other animals in these cages?
There are. There's a lot of like very strange. There's like a very strange looking monkey that has 4 arms, but it's small. So 6 total limbs. There's like very odd looking birds. One that looks kind of maybe like a phoenix. The large kind of dangerous creatures are that tentacled beast that is trying to grapple Render and Burpee. Nothing else is out of a cage that you see, but you can do a spot check to see if there's anything else in any of the other cages.
Yeah, I'll do a spot for my sweat.
Okay.
Let me find it.
Sure. By the way, I made this music out of. I kind of remixed a couple of songs to make this beat. I was really going for like a animal fight sequence with this music.
I'm getting it. That's coming through.
All right.
It definitely
With
has
that
like
spot check.
movie, mud pit vibes to it.
Yeah, exactly. Very primal fight. Okay, with that spot check, you look up into the upper levels. None of the other cages in this space would be big enough to have a creature that to you seems like a danger, right? Because you're a barbarian. You're like, okay, what's big and has lots of teeth? You don't see anything obvious that would fit that category.
Fair enough. I'm gonna have Varg. I'm gonna have Varg move up behind Max.
Okay.
And have him take do defender trick.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and do a handle animal check for me.
Do I need to do handle animal on that? I thought it was it's a different roll. It's a Varg roll.
Let me just check. You're right. That a handle animal would only come into play when you're training him for that.
I'm trying to find it. I put it here somewhere on my sheet, like the.
Yeah, or maybe it was in Varg's sheet. Let's see. Assist defense. So you make an attack. It's in Varg's biography. You make an attack roll versus AC 10 with a +2 circumstance bonus. So go ahead and make his attack roll, and it gets a +2. Yeah, that'll work. He got a natural 20. So he's being a very good boy.
Why you got a crit on that and not crit on an actual attack?
Exactly. So he is like, have you ever seen that video of the German Shepherds that like follow the trainer's like legs perfectly? He is that in sync with Max right now. He's just between Max's robe legs and just ready to bite out from underneath Max's crotch at anything that approaches. All right. Back to the top of the round. Lanray, it is back to you. You are standing directly adjacent to that very large, almost like plant. it's like a terrarium cage almost. It has some strange plants in it.
Yeah. I guess I will. Do I have line of sight on the thing fighting the Dolphier?
There's like a column. I think because you moved directly to this cage, you don't have line of sight on it right now.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I don't have line of sight on AFTA either at the moment, right?
Now the cage is definitely blocking after from this angle.
All right, I think what I'm going to do is climb up to the near top of the cage so I can get a line of sight on AFTA because I was tracking him.
Yeah, give me a climb check to see how quickly you go up. This is pretty easy because there's footholds. Okay, yeah, it was going to be a DC 5, so you do your climb. Let me just check one thing. Okay, so quarter speed. So you are able to make it to the top with just your move action because of how easy it is to climb. I do, however, need you. This is slightly less.
And just one thing, my goal was I would get to like a point. Basically, I want to climb up, but then when I get to the top, I want to almost use it as a shield. So I will try to find footing for my feet to you can see the top of my head over the thing, so I would be able to shoot somebody.
Yeah, the cage kind of has like a bevel to the top, so you are definitely able to do that. Where it's not the greatest cover, but it gives you some partial cover from that. However, I need you to make a reflex save. Okay, as you're climbing up this thing, the plant that you're watching within the cage that you weren't really paying that much attention to starts to move, and as you put your feet up onto the last sort of holding place that you're holding, the plant attempts to kind of strike out. You are able to move your hand out of the way of that plant's reach. It was the only spot in that cage, now that you're high enough above it, that it would have been able to grab your hand. But you are now free and clear of it. It would have caused a bit of a problem. It's almost like a Venus flytrap mixed with the flower things from Mario, you know?
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of smoke coming out of its open plant mouth, but it is not an immediate danger to you right now. All right, so that was your move action. What else you want to do?
Yeah, I'm going to fire another arrow, a single attack at AFTA again.
Okay.
I can't use rapid shot, but I can use many shot, so I'm going to do that.
Sure, yep. Yeah, rapid shot is only for a full attack, I believe. Ooh.
Oh, come on.
Having sort of had to shift your hand quickly away from the maw of this weird carnivorous plant, your hands just aren't in the right position. You fumble the arrow. Both of the arrows fall into the plant's cage. Those are going to be 2 arrows that will be very difficult to get back.
Yeah.
All right, that is your turn. Max's turn. I think Max would see a little bit of elation could go a long way at this point. Let me make sure he can reach everybody. Definitely loves doing elation. Yeah, that can reach every ally in this space. So he's going to go ahead and cast elation. Go ahead and gather y'all up. So that's Varg. That is Lanray. That is Me-Man, Medolfir, and Render are all now benefiting from elation. So just to be clear, you are automatically getting a +2 morale bonus to strength and dexterity. You're also, speed is increased by +5. I think that is it. Okay. Yep, that is it. All right, and none of you were fatigued, so you're good on that. That is his turn. He's going to go ahead and step back, though. It's like, I don't need to be this close to that dinosaur. He's going to step back towards this corner where he's got a little bit of cover from the barrels. And yes, Varg would instinctively do so as well. That is his turn. What just got rolled automatically? Ah, yes. I forgot about that. Medolfir, you notice after Mayman had pushed this Zizir back, and after you had slashed it, there was kind of like a cut forming on its skin. That cut is starting to just slowly, revert a little bit.
On the Zazir?
Yes.
Oh, this motherfucker.
Yeah, he is self-regenerating. So let me add that to him. Okay.
I don't like that.
Not great. That is his turn now. So he still has his turn. That is automatic. So he is going to now. He has no place to step back. He doesn't love that. Man, is he gonna try to bull rush you? His strength is not great.
Bring it. Bring the bull rush.
Let me think on this. He is going to. Okay. I need you to give me 30-foot cone. Let me check what a 30-foot cone looks like. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely going to do that. Okay, I need everyone within that cone to go ahead and give me a reflex save.
Well, maybe except for Landry because of height.
In 3D, 12 feet. I think he's still in the cone. Yeah, I'm going to say he's still in the cone because it's a 30-foot cone. It goes vertically as much as it does go outward. If he was like on the fringes, I'd say maybe not. Yeah, he passed it either way for half damage. I'm going to say Landry, because it was kind of a borderline, your save is actually going to do the full avoidance of damage. It's not going to be half damage. Gotcha. The rest of you, however. Me-Man, you fail. Medolfir, you fail. Varg fails. Let me check Max's. That is a reflex, which is not one of his favorite things to do. Oh. All right, then. Max is the only one who saves on this. The sticky fire-like material only hits the barrel in front of him, so he takes half damage. The rest of you did fail, so you are going to take 2d6.
You may want to look at the distance to Max because it's at the edge and it's an ISO map. So if you're going to be adding 5 feet, Max would be outside the range of it. Just for thought. Because it added 5 feet to my charge and it was just squares, so it's not like a typical 30-foot cone. It's a 30-foot cone in ISO, so like that you may be able to get out of the whole thing.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Because of that, there's also a lot of columns and stuff specifically on Max's line. So yeah, I think you're right. Max also is avoiding it. Okay, everybody else, however, takes 7 points of damage. I will do that to Varg. Everybody else, please adjust your 7 points. There are no open flames. There's a couple of lanterns.
The plant also gets hit too, so I'm sure like that plant really appreciates it.
The plant in the vine portion, some of it does begin to singe and take 7 points of damage as well. You are correct about that. Okay, that is going to be the Zir's turn. It is going to just take a 5 foot to there. It's kind of backed into a corner of various desks and shelves. That is the only open spot in that area right now. Afta's turn. As you guys watch Afta from above, you do notice now that visage that he has of human primal lion starts to shift completely. And he turns into the form of a saber-toothed tiger.
Spicy.
I didn't know he was a transformer.
Yeah. It is different. Madolfir, what he did was similar to what Finrey used to do. Lanray, there was something different about this, though. He didn't do the kind of druidic ritual to turn into this. He just, like, started shifting into this saber-toothed cat, and it looks different than when Finrey used to do wild shape. So with that, he's going to run back across and just take a swiping attack as he crosses past Render. Just a single claw. .23 to hit. So as he passes across, he swipes at Render, who's gotten partially free, causing 18 points of damage. And that is his turn.
No attack of opportunity for Render?
Render does get an attack of opportunity. Thank you for reminding me. He is going to attempt it.
Oh,
wow.
Smacked his ass.
Wow. Okay, he does have a very good range on that sword. So the 34 is going to confirm for 23 points of damage. As it strikes after, you can hear just kind of like whatever a saber-toothed tiger would sound like if it was chuckling as the sword strikes him. Doesn't seem that fazed by it. Render is going to have to make another strength check opposed by this grapple, however, now on this turn. So, once again, plus 16. Ooh, the tentacles rolled pretty poorly this time. Okay. Yeah, he is able to avoid the grapple this time. He is going to go ahead and strike out again as Afta's kind of chuckling. He goes, I see you turned into your filthy primeval state. Your true colors are showing. And he swipes out with his bastard sword. Full attack. Actually, he's kind of pinned in this position. Yeah, he's still going to full attack. Okay.
Holy smokes.
He strikes. All three of those do strike, including the crit. You notice something. As he's striking out, he's holding back on the blade now. Now that he's kind of gotten free from the tentacles, you notice that he's causing non-lethal damage with the sword. That does do 27, 49 points of damage now. Okay. Yeah, he is kind of a monster when he gets a full attack. That is his turn. You can't really take a 5-foot because he's pinned in right there. Mayman, it is your turn.
If I take a 5-foot, will I be in range of this lizard jobby? Is that a 5-foot step?
Yes, that's a 5-foot step, so you can get in range with him if you want.
All right, and this guy looks pretty unhappy, like not in good state. Or is he like fairly
still looking
healed
good.
up again?
Whatever cuts and scratches you guys made in him before, like they started re-healing, so he's looking okay.
All right, I'm gonna just take a full attack, and I'm gonna do my thing to get the plus 10 temporary hit points. So I'll take a -5 to attack.
Okay, got it. I will add your plus 10 temporary.
Elation's gonna be put in automatically, right?
Yes, it is automatically in there right now.
All right, so that's -5, and that's it.
Okay. The first one does strike for 16 points of damage. Now he's starting to look a little bit rougher. You already took your swift action, so I believe that is the end of your turn, unless you want to call out anything.
No, I'm done.
Okay. Madolfir, you are adjacent to Mayman now. Both of you are kind of roughed up. What are you doing?
Is there any space at all behind him? Right there.
It would be like a squeeze kind of space. I would say because of the terrain in that particular spot, you'd be flat-footed if you move into it. The spot to your north, you could stand normally without being flat-footed.
Well, I was trying to see if I could get a flank on it. So.
Yep.
Oh well, no, full attack.
Okay. Zazir is now being surrounded by the two marshals. Okay, yeah. Natural 20 on your attack. Very nice. So, both of those do strike. The crit definitely confirms, yeah, and both of those do strike. Wow. You do. Holy shit, 55 on that crit. You do 78 points of damage. This thing was regenerating before, and that must have probably annoyed you because you love striking something and, taking down its HP. This time, you kind of made sure that he wouldn't be regenerating back. How do you want to kill this thing?
I'm just like axe chopping over my head twice, and when I see the damage that's wrought afterwards, I'm gonna, holding my head and just kind of taking a few breaths in and look up at me and say, Bengrafil was hungry today.
All right, awesome. You did, in fact, your first swipe disabled him, where he fell to whatever its equivalent backwards shape knee is. It kind of took like a crouch on one leg when you struck with the first one, and then that second downward strike made sure that it is fully dead. All right, that is your turn unless you want to take a swift action of some sort.
5-foot step.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make sure I understand. Where I just marked, is that the doorway to the stairs that go up to the next level?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna 5-foot step there.
Okay, go for it. All right. So you're trying to get back up to the top. Is Varg doing anything other than remaining trained on protecting Max?
He's gonna continue protecting Max.
Got it. Lanraid is back up to you. There is no danger of the flowers at this moment. What are you doing?
I am gonna take a full attack on Afta again.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I would normally say a balance check required here, but because the cage is almost perfect for climbing, it's a mundane task to stay balanced as you fire.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Nice rolls. All three of those will strike Afta. He is in melee, but you have that feat, so that doesn't affect it. He takes 22 points of damage. Nice.
Sweet. And then I'm gonna take a 5-foot step up to the top of the cage.
Okay. So you will be plus 15, and you're gonna be right about there. All right. That is that is your turn. Max's turn. Let's see. What are some of the tropes that Max likes going back to? He doesn't have any more fireballs, and it's also an enclosed environment in here, so that would be potentially problematic.
Curse of Impending Blades.
Yeah, that would have never stopped the flicker.
He does not have Curse of Impending Blades prepared for today. That's interesting.
What's that one? That
Magic
makes them
missile.
weak, reduces their
Ray
strength.
of Enfeeblement.
Yeah. Ray of
I think you're right. He would
Magic
he would take a look at AFTA and be like, "Oh, that thing is pretty quick and strong." He's going to attempt a Ray of Enfeeblement on it. Can you guys hear my dogs, by the way?
I mean, I can hear them. They're not
Okay.
overpowering me.
They add to the ambiance. I'm just imagining some dogs in the
Yeah,
cage.
they're-
No, yeah, me too.
Pet
I
shop
was totally
vibes.
like, yeah, absolutely.
All right, excellent. So here's Max's Ray of Enfeeblement attempt. So that is going to be a DC. Oh, there is no DC. It's only spell resistance, but it is a ranged touch attack. The ranged touch attack does strike. Let me just make sure the range is within range. A little bit of Pythagoras in the morning. Yeah, that's easily within the range. Okay, so he is going to take 1d6 plus 5 strength penalty. So let's roll that out. 6 plus 5. Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Max.
That is
Nice.
a big impact. That is a big impact. How many rounds of this stupid thing go? Ah, Jesus, minutes. All right.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much as far as AFT is concerned. Okay. So let me go ahead and add that as a penalty.
That's almost a
Glenn.
flat -3 to his strength, like bonus.
Yeah. Luckily, in this shape, in this altered state, he has a lot to give. But it certainly is not great. Okay, that was Max's turn. He's going to hold position. He's feeling quite comfortable behind there. He just calls out his, "Everybody okay? Does anybody need any potions?" And that's going to be his turn. Afta's turn. Okay, let's see what this build can do. He's going to go ahead and call out. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call out that he's going to focus his Fists of Iron on Render. So let me go ahead and utilize one of his stunning fist attacks.
Is he a monk cat? Is that what we're doing?
You are catching on. He is definitely part monk. The other part, I don't know if you would recognize it yet, but he is using one of his stunning fist attacks to do this in advance, and he is going to go ahead and make all sorts of unarmed attacks right now. So that is going to be a +6 on top of that. All right, yeah. So it's only going to affect the first strike, so that's not too bad. However, he gets a lot of strikes. Okay.
God dang.
So +6, 5 additional points. He erupts with his saber-tooth paws, striking somewhere in between a primeval claw attack and just like a straight-up like pugilist punch at Render. It doesn't matter that Render's wearing protective armor. These strikes are hitting him right in the soft spots. All of those do strike, including the crit. So that is 15, 28, plus 5, 33, plus 27. He does 60 points of damage as Render is almost knocked stunned from just this fury of blows. That is Afta's turn. He is going to hold position right there and just let out like a guttural primal intimidating growl towards Render. It is back to Render's turn. Render's not looking good. Render took those punches and there is blood all over his face, dripping onto his armor. He's going to go ahead and attempt to jump. Oh, he's got to make a grapple check first. Let's do that again, because he has not moved yet. He's focused on fighting. 22 is beatable. Yeah. So the grapple is not an issue. He avoids the tentacles that continue to swipe out, but with that one missing tentacle that he chopped off, it's more difficult now. He is going to attempt to jump across to Lanray. Now, this is going to be tricky because he's wearing plate armor here. And he's doing it without a running start. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. He attempts to jump across, potentially overconfidence in his capabilities, but with his aged legs, he is going to take a drop. He falls to the ground.
GM, do I have any chance to do I see this happening, and does it look like he's not attacking me? And two, if I can process all that, would I then be able to reach out and try to help him, or no?
If he hadn't rolled a 4, maybe. He fails so bad, it's almost like in his aged state, wearing all this plate armor, he tries to do a standing jump, and he actually trips on the edging of this wall as opposed to making any distance. So he's gonna fall to the ground. There'd be no way for you to reach him because of that. He's going to take 1d6 points of damage, and he is going to be prone. He's like, it's gonna be all right, and he just completely tumbles over. So he's looking even more rough now, and he is definitely in a prone state. That is unfortunately his turn, but he's out of harm's way for a moment. Mayman, it is back to you. What are you doing? You were looking rough.
I am just going to. How bad does Render look? Is he right next to me?
Yeah, his face is bleeding. It's that move that he just did was clearly an act of desperation. He sensed it was his only option. And he is right next to you.
All right, well, I will just cast Cure Light on him then.
Okay. Okay, that does help. 6 points of health. He looks up at you and he says, careful. His blows can carry a heavy weight behind them. What else are you doing? That was your action.
Yeah, I'm gonna the alcove, so I'm just gonna move back to kind of where Modal Fear is, and I'm gonna be to the side. So, yeah.
Okay, but you're not attempting to go up the stairs. You just kind of want to be back in this alcove.
No. I'm doing that, and I'll do a spot to see if I see anything crazy as well. Because that was
okay. Yeah, give me a spot.
I'm terrible at spot, by the way.
Let's see if you spot any more flower traps around here. Yeah, you are very bad at spot. With that -1.
He looks within himself.
I rolled a 1 and I got a -3. I kept my eyes closed the whole time.
Yeah. You don't see anything of particular danger around you. Madolfir, it is back to you. You just saw Render Klein plummet and hit his face against the ground behind your shoulder. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try. So, how distance-wise to climb up the stairs and be on that platform, behind where Tai Lung is?
Yeah.
How much distance approximately?
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's about 20 feet total. Going up the stairs, the stairs kind of curve around, and then you're back up. It's 20 foot of movement to get up there.
Okay.
To be directly adjacent to.
I'm gonna try and tippy-toe my way up.
Okay. You want to try to sneak? So give me a move silent check if you want to come up without him hearing. That's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
This is going to be opposed by his listen check. Does not have a great listen check, although it's not bad. Okay. He is not aware of you coming up the stairs.
Now, in his form he's in, is he significantly larger than what he was?
Yes.
Does he strike me as a large creature?
He is a large creature now, yes. He is a saber-toothed tiger in form. At times, he is a saber-toothed tiger, but at times when he was attacking Render, although you didn't truly see that much, he kind of takes like a humanoid stance as he swipes, but then he returns back to on all fours. Is he still wearing pants? His equipment. No, this is a good point. His equipment, like his whip, fell when he shifted into his shape. So that is one of the distinct differences between him and like a druid wild shaping.
That confirms I know exactly what he is.
You said his equipment ripped? Is that what you said?
His whip fell. His cloak of resistance is still on his body, but it is not like enwrapping him anymore. The clothes kind of like moved apart. It's potentially part of the magical capabilities of this cloak.
I'm going to hold action.
Okay. So you're just going to come up quietly and hold action for him. Now, keep in mind, okay, your hold action, but the round is going to restart again.
Right, but doesn't holding action just I'm going to hold my action to put myself in for the next round in initiative order at his turn, right?
You want to do like a full swap-a-roo, a permanent swap.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's not a ready action then. That's a yeah, I know what you mean. So that is okay. So yes. So you want to act before him then. You want to remove this and act before him next.
I'm actually.
You know what? You can't do that unless you do it as a full. You can't do anything else if you do that.
I'm not doing anything else. I just moved.
That's what I mean. You can't even take a move if you're going to swap initiative number. It has to be everything on your turn swaps.
Okay.
But you could ready an action before he acts.
So I'm gonna ready an attack.
Okay.
But I kind of want to see what he's gonna do, right?
Sure.
Like, so that's why I'm like,
okay.
Like I can do a number of things right now, but I don't know which one I want to do. It's going to be based on what his next action is.
Understood. All right. So you're readying an action of attack based on like, okay, if he does something. Can you specify like what kind of thing would trigger you to take an action?
If he gets set like he's going to move, especially if it looks like he's going to jump down.
Okay, got it. Sounds good. Vard continuing to defend Max at this time?
Oh yeah, he's guard dog.
Landry, it is round 4. Back up to you in this weird primal boxing match. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to just keep my focus on go after him and then see if I can create more space between myself and whatever else is around.
Okay, sounds good. You do have your full action. I just saw Mayman's chat. Yeah, copyright infringement. Okay. Yeah, those definitely strike. As you fire off those 3 arrows, after kind of takes notice of you and starts looking your way now that Render's on the ground, he takes 22 points of damage. He is starting to look rougher. Now, some of that roughness, it's like bruises from that sword attack that Render gave him, but he's looking rougher.
And I'm going to take a 5-foot step to the left a little bit to maybe get to the back side of the cage that I'm on.
Okay, you can definitely do that. Check one thing here.
Be sure and time that move for when the piranha plant sinks back into the tube.
Right, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna happen next. Okay, Yes, you do move carefully. With a 5-foot step, I would say on top of this, you do not need to make a balance check of any kind. But keep in mind, if you were trying to jump, maybe you would have to, just to see if one of your feet kind of comes into range of the flower plant. Max. Let's see. What do you got left, Max? Crushing Despair, maybe? Let's see. Shivering Touch, potentially. Can't use any of his undead stuff, so that's tricky. He did prepare for an undead battle, mostly.
What's that one where he does that, like, I don't know, something about his visage changes, and am I imagining
Alter
this?
Self?
No, it's like it's a will save on the target, but if they fail, they take some kind of debuff.
That was already checked, so that occurs at the very beginning of combat against a being if it does a melee attack against them, and that did occur at the beginning, and AFTA did pass it.
Okay.
Here's what he's going to do. He doesn't use this one very often, but he prepared it twice. He's going to attempt Unluck on AFTA.
Oh, that would be perfect with what I'm have in my mind.
Yeah, so
For my
let's
held
see. DC 20 will save. Again, AFTA does have a decent will save, so let's see what happens. Yeah, oof, that sucks. It would have been cool. Unfortunately, that Unluck check doesn't pass. AFTA is able to avoid it. Max is going to hold position and just calls out. Let me see. I think he has a bunch of heal potions on him. Yeah, he's got a potion of Cure Serious Wounds. Oof, would he use that in this situation? He's going to call out, I've got Cure Light Wounds and Cure Serious Wounds. If anybody needs it, just holler and I'll come towards you. I wouldn't say holler. Just yell out to me and I'll come towards you. It's tough to roleplay as Max. Okay. Back up to AFTA. So, what would he do in this situation? He sees Render has fallen to the ground. He sees Landray firing what appears to be, the most dangerous thing to him at this point. He is going to try to jump across to Landray. Madolfir, he is beginning to move. So, what would you do in this state as your action held from last time?
Okay, so he's like preparing himself to jump, yes?
Yes, yep.
It's gonna be kind of hard to do if one of his legs is severely damaged, right?
If you're targeting a leg, we can try to do the Sunder tools like we do elsewhere.
I'm absolutely going for a Sunder attack on one of his hind legs.
Okay, that's a pretty primary limb, but let's see. Okay, and it's only going to be a standard action on this as a reaction. Keep in mind, because that's how the held action works. It's going to have to be a strike that hits for. I'm just doing some calculation. It's going to have to strike for 35 points of damage for you to actually, in some way make it a completely unusable leg.
Okay. And will I get a what kind of modifier will I get for this attack since he kind of doesn't know I'm there?
You're not a rogue, so the damage won't be affected, but he is going to be flat-footed against it. So his AC is going to be his flat-footed AC because he is not in kind of a position to react to you. You've snuck up on him successfully, but just don't get the rogue sneak attack bonus.
Nope, fair enough. I'm gonna, in the same moment that I'm swinging, I'm gonna rage.
Okay, yeah, that is a free action, so you definitely rage. So from what his point of view is, he just hears you just like kind of guttural as you strike out at his leg.
Now, do I need to add the +4 to my attack roll, or does that just affect his AC?
The +4.
The flat-footed.
Oh, it's automatic. His AC is labeled as flat-footed
okay.
In his sheet, so his AC is much lower.
All right, swing for the fences, fellers.
Oh,
Oh,
so close. It still strikes for 30 points of damage, but as you just take a massive swipe against his hind leg, you hear a yelp sound as it strikes. It clearly has hurt him significantly, but it does not hinder him from taking the action. He is looking bloodied. I don't know exactly the path. I think that's 25% health. Okay. He is going to take that jump. Let me go ahead and roll that for him. Oh, he rolled a 1. He is going to jump.
Yes.
He is going to jump, but he is going to utilize... He's going to have to hang onto this cage. His paws are kind of grabbing onto the cage, scrambling, kind of like a cat that's not climbing super successfully. His elevation does drop partially, and he remains flat-footed in this condition. He is, however, going to utilize one of his capabilities up here. You notice that, Lanray specifically, you notice like an aura of like, I don't know, you've heard people refer to chi and like inner aura. You see him almost, his wounds that he just took from Modolfir start to heal up in front of you. He is going to gain back 22 points of health. Okay. He is dangerously close to you, but he does not appear able to act in this turn because of that really crappy roll. To Render. Render is going to spend his move action to unprone himself. If I can reach him. Not you. There we go. He's going to unprone himself. After still there. He is going to go ahead and move underneath this cage to here, so he's behind the cage. He can't quite reach him up there. He's gonna throw a dagger at him.
How? So he's a large-sized creature sitting on the side of the cage.
He's kind of got his arms, like his claws, grappling onto the parts of the cage, holding him up.
And so, like, how far is his butt from the ground?
Yeah, his butt itself, that's why I kind of went with the plus 12. It kind of drops some of it. So his butt would be like at 10 feet. His head is kind of at 15 feet, and he's kind of in the middle.
So if Render's like, let's say, 5 foot tall with a 5 foot reach, he could stab him in the butt?
He could attempt to stab him in the butt. It'd just be an awkward strike, so he's choosing to just take his dagger out from his side and throw that up in lieu of it. I would say there'd be like an effect to his strike just because it's such an awkward hop and
But
strike.
for me, who's a little bit taller, like I could probably smack him in the butt with no problem.
Yeah, especially since yours is kind of like a swinging, bludgeoning type weapon, as opposed to like a bastard sword that really needs to be struck down in a certain way just from its weird kind of weight. Okay, so yes, good questions. Let me go ahead and throw his dagger. Okay. Instead of swinging the bastard sword at his butt, Render just goes, you shouldn't have shown me where the sun don't shine, and he throws it up and strikes After right on the cat ass. After's tail just like immediately reacts and lets out another yelp. He does take 8 points of actual damage. Okay. Right up the cat ass. That is Render's turn. Bayman, you watch this. What are you doing? You're off in kind of the corner right now.
How far away can I run and get to the cat and do a standard attack?
Let's see. Yeah, you could make your way around with a move action to there easily. And then from there, you could do a standard attack. Yes.
All right. I have a question.
Sure.
If a cat is on the side of a cage and he gets tripped, what does that mean?
I would say the equivalent of the trip in this case would be him losing his climb grip. So he would fall prone to the ground from that as opposed to being tripped. Yeah.
Oh, you're setting me up.
All right. So
I love it.
I am going to get into Stonefoot stance because I didn't do this before. But that's I can't move after this. Really, basically, is what it means. I'm gonna hit the button. I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna tell you. My click on my mouse double clicks with one click. I don't know what I did to it, but like that's the thing. All right.
Just make sure that it doesn't take. This one doesn't matter, but like for anything that you have like a number of charges, just make sure to add it back in.
Yeah, let me tell you, a bunch of my games have gotten really interesting now. So now I get to do, what is it, a standard attack? Is that how trip works?
Yep.
And he's not like flanked or anything, is he?
No, in this position he's not flanked. So unarmed melee touch attack. This does still provoke an attack of opportunity, and I'll say because he's a monk and he can use his feet. I
have improved trip. He doesn't. I don't provoke.
Oh shit! Good call. Yeah, and he doesn't.
Would he be considered flat-footed since he's kind of precariously dangling?
I'm
asking that mainly not for me man's benefit, but for mine for my next.
I would say, for the purpose of this, as long as he's still holding onto the cage and he's got 4 legs, I would say he's not in the flat-footed position now.
Okay.
He can kind of lift up his legs if he needs to avoid attacks.
So I'm just basically rolling a normal attack, no bonuses at all, and then I don't get a negative for being under him, do I? No.
No. He gets no. He does get upper ground, I think, but that only affects attacks. I don't think it affects his AC.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering. I rolled a 32, so hopefully that trips him.
Let's go.
Yeah, hold on one second. Okay, so
you're
32. Now, you're 32. Here's the problem. You rolled it with your actual weapon, so it's adding in the masterwork part. Your normal melee touch attack would be plus 15, and you rolled an 18. Oh, it's actually higher for some reason.
Yeah, it's higher.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong one. Hold on.
I rolled an 18. My melee bonus is plus 13.
That's it.
So
okay.
and I don't know what other. I get elation, don't I?
That's automatically affecting your strength right now, so that's already in there. Okay, yeah, so you got a 31, not a 32. Okay, so that does strike. That's his touch AC. It's higher than his touch AC. Now you do the opposed strength checks. Now he can use his dex or his strength, but yours is a strength check.
So I just roll strength, right?
Yep, that's correct. Man, it really sucks that you guys fatigued him and he can't have his full. His regular strength would have a plus. It would have a plus 6. No, a plus 8. He would normally have a plus freaking 8
now,
on his strength checks.
Because I'm in Stonefoot stance, I get a plus 2 bonus to strength checks and a plus 2 bonus to AC against creatures a size category larger than me.
Okay.
He's technically larger than me, so I still get a plus 2 to this from Stonefoot stance, I think.
Okay, so that's a total of you're getting a plus 2 or a plus 4?
No, I don't know where we get the other 2. So this is just a flat strength check, which a plus 7, and then I would get an additional plus 2 to this.
Okay, so you rolled a total 25.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, this is gonna be tough for him. It wouldn't have been before, but let me see. He's got to pull something out. Oh, that's going to do it. Okay. You are successful in tripping him. As you swipe, it is enough for him to lose his grip onto the cage itself. And he does fall prone. I'm going to say he does take 1d6 points of damage as that happens. Since he was high up enough to... Takes 2 points of additional damage hitting the ground. Ah, you made my monk prone.
and I yell right in the cat ass. I'm on the render.
All right. Let me go ahead and add that prone state to him. This is Trey sad now. Okay. That is your turn. Madolfir, you hear that from down below 2 times now, right in the cat ass. What are you doing?
I am going to run off of the edge with my sword held up, pointing out like I'm doing a drop attack with my sword held downwards.
Okay.
To drive it down into his prone body.
Okay. Like previous times, this is going to be a plus 1d6 on top of your normal damage that would occur. He is flat-footed on his AC since he is prone. Attacker who is prone has a -4 penalty on melee attacks. Cannot use vendor who's... Oh, actually, you know what? That's against range attacks. And he's taking a -4 penalty against melee attacks. Okay, so it's not that he's flat-footed. It's just a straight -4 penalty to AC.
I'm also going to point out that I do have boots of landing.
Okay.
So
noted. Initiate jump sequence.
All right. What do I need to do? I need to make it the jump roll.
I only need the jump roll to see how you land. So it's not going to affect the attack itself, but it's going to affect potentially if you take some damage from the jump. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. So go ahead and now do your standard attack action. You're going to essentially land right in front of Mayman.
Are we flanking this dude yet? I mean, me, Render, and soon Modal-Fear is going to be next to him, so there's only so many angles, right?
I will say you can add the +2 on this as if it was like a charge that would also get a +2 from flank. Not the charge part, but, you know, if you were to come from that angle instantaneously, you do gain flank. So yeah, go ahead and give me add a +2 on top of everything for flank.
Okay, I'm adding I'm adding flank. I'm checking the flank box.
Yep.
I'm adding a plus 1d6 onto the damage bonus.
Bingo, yep.
And I'm doing a single attack.
That's correct. Okay. From on high, you jump down, gracefully landing as you bring Bengrafil down into this being, this person. You do cause 38 points of damage. Now let me check one thing. I gotta do some math. Okay. Interesting. Right in that cat ass. Non-lethal damage. I just gotta check that non-lethal damage that he took earlier. Okay. He's going to be staggered. Okay, as you land down, you strike him in such a way that he is clearly staggered. It's like being disabled, except a little bit less serious. He can take a standard action or a move action in each round. Okay, yeah. That I think is your... Jesus, the whole Buster's disturbing. Is there anything else you're calling out other than right in the cat ass?
No.
Okay.
No. But
Cat butt.
Yeah, cat butt. Sensing a moment to take advantage of, I'm going to will Varg to close in and make a little attacky tack.
Okay, can do. Varg
So
is going to.
is-
Yeah.
Is he where he is, or is he at the base of the cage, which would be more right there?
He fell in such a way where it's kind of like this. This is where he's actually at.
Okay.
It's just kind of tricky, but yeah, I can do that. It's fine. It'll just be funky when Render's turn comes.
So if Varg moves right there, which would be at the base
Yes.
of the cage. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say that's accurate.
And he's
It's more
getting,
like, yeah,
Sorry.
that would work. That would work.
and his AC is already accounting for the prone. Or do I need
Yes,
to add
he's
that?
already got the -4 to AC, so you don't have to factor anything for Varg for that.
Oh,
Doesn't matter
Varg!
anyways.
Go Varg!
Varg sensing some fresh meat. He's never chewed into a saber-toothed tiger before. Yeah, that is going to strike for 13 points of damage. Okay. With that, after Pril's body starts reverting back into his humanoid shape, and he has fallen unconscious.
Varg with the finishing blow. Go!
He is unconscious. He's still alive. You see some very shallow breaths occurring right now. But because of the non-lethal damage that was incurred upon him by Render, he's not dead yet. What are you guys doing? It's back up to Landray. Landray, you see what's happening below. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm going to just yell out, does anybody have any rope? Because I want to tie him up.
Okay. Check Max. You guys check your own.
I thought we had some, but
It's probably in a bag of holding of some sort.
yeah.
See it in Max's. Let me check the actual bag.
I'm just gonna say, out of character. Do we want to take him, or do we just want to? Like, he's obviously in danger.
Can we ask Render? I'm like, so how do you want to do this? Like, what is Render obviously knows him, so
No.
I think him being knocked out is probably the easiest. So whatever, like Render is the one that should make the call, my opinion.
Yeah. And from Lanray's perspective, it's he is just gonna immediately be like, we need to get him tied up, regardless of whatever we actually decide to do with him.
Max does call out from behind the barrel. If that is dead, I do have 300 feet of rope. Does somebody want rope? And he kind
I
of
just
just
say, Max,
walks up.
toss me some rope so I can tie him up, tie his hands up.
I'm just
And
gonna-
then
Why don't we just put him in a cage? There's all these cages.
Render kind of speaks up and he goes, "Aye." And he wipes off the blood from his nose and his ears. And he goes, "That's a good idea. I've had my disagreements with AFTA before, but he has served the Emperor. I didn't mean to kill him when I came here, but we do need his resources. Let's put him in a cage. I'll have some guards come and make sure that he calms down and doesn't come after us in some way."
And let's still tie his hands up.
Okay, give me a use rope check.
So hey, real quick before we get too much further into this,
Yeah.
into attending to him, what's up with the tentacle beasts?
The tentacle beast up above is still within the cage. Its tentacles are still trying to grapple out.
Okay, I thought he was
but it-
outside of the cage. Okay.
No, it's kind of like giving up on trying to grab anybody since nobody's next to it.
I am gonna derage.
Okay.
I am going to take the cloak off of old boy and then like
Yeah.
toss it up to Landray, and I'm like, seems like an awful lot of trouble for just a fashionable piece of clothing.
Landry, I take it you immediately take that?
Yes, yep.
Okay, I'm adding that to your inventory. You do notice also his whip is laying on the ground nearby. Max kind of is like, huh, that looks kind of special. You also notice he's wearing a periap of wisdom on his neck that he was defending when Max asked him to remove it previously.
Ooh.
Oh, that's what caused this. Max went for the necklace instead of the cloak, and he didn't appreciate that.
He did not appreciate that, yes. This Cloak of Resistance, Lanray, gives you +4 to all saving throws. Max kind of looks at it and goes, oh, that's worth a lot of money.
Thanks, Afta.
Still unconscious. Okay, with that used rope, it's good enough for right now. You tie up his return to human form. He is an elderly person. Now that you see his visage out of the saber-toothed tiger state, just to remind you guys what he kind of looked like. This is
RP purposes.
Yeah.
GM, does his transformation and detransformation remind me of anything in my life's life's experiences with Lux? Is it similar in nature to other beings that I've seen that are capable of transforming into other monsters or other creatures?
How do you mean?
So
Like a doppelganger?
no, like lycanthropy.
It's not lycanthropy. You don't have the type of knowledge to really do a check on this, but you've seen lycanthropes, obviously.
Right.
In the areas of your homeland, there are lycanthrope tribes. This wasn't that. Now, it was interesting because it seemed like that's the only form he could take. It was so natural for him to turn into that form. It was almost like he was still there, but he took on a primeval state.
Okay. Fair
Like
enough.
a feral version of himself.
I had him pegged as like a were-tiger, right? So
No, I will say a little bit of meta. He is a high-level monk with additional ranks, class levels in primeval.
okay.
So, like, the combo when he hits was crazy because his unarmed strikes were being combined with his primeval state.
Oh, it was
Really
ridiculous. Yeah, dude, that triple attack on Render Climb was
When it-
vicious, man.
It shifted when Max was successful in reducing his strength down. That helped a lot. Okay, so yes, Lanray, that cloak fits you perfectly. As you put it on, you notice that weird sort of colorful circus-like ringmaster style that he was wearing, it shifts into your natural aesthetic. The magical cloak changes colors and material to match whatever you wish it to look like. So what would that look like for you?
It would probably look like something that is from like my home family, their style of dress and garb, because I think it would be unique to each sort of like tribe, quote unquote.
Yeah, it does turn into almost like the regalia of Rev Hall Sheer. The high leaders of Rev Hall Sheer have very sort of subdued, but when you look at it very closely, fine, intricate, woven clothing that has details, but they still remain camouflaged so that it doesn't show up if you're out in the woods. So it does take on that shape. The whip. Max starts looking at the whip. With his checks. Yeah, I'll say that he does recognize some magic on this. He's going to use up one of his detect magics again. There is magic on this. He clearly sees that it has a +1 magical enhancement. But there's something else here. I'll just confirm. It is a abjuration, a moderate abjuration.
I'm just going to say, like, I don't think any of us use a whip. I don't know if we need to grab other stuff besides the cloak, especially if this is a person the king has helped the emperor in the past, right? So I'm not.
Render goes, yeah, wise words. Maybe he'll calm down if we let him keep his precept and his whip. But let's make sure he's in the cage. And he kind of puts him back into where the Zazir's cage is. And he kind of goes, I know him and Burpee were really close. I think we killed it, though.
Yeah, you could say that.
He's probably going to be a little bit upset about that. But,
You shouldn't have sicked him on us.
yeah, exactly. I don't know what he was thinking. Let's put him back in the cage, and maybe let's clear Burpee out of here so that he doesn't have to wake up to that. So, with that, Render assists in what way he can with his elderly... well, you know, as you age, you lose strength and certain things, but he's still a pretty strong person. He helps move him into the cage.
While we're moving around, like after we get stuff moved, I'm going to be like, so, what was it you came here for upstairs?
Well, that's a matter of imperial importance, but suppose we'll be traveling together back to the castle. Let me show you. And he goes up. Yeah, he goes upstairs. You can follow him if you wish.
I do.
Okay. Anybody else following alongside?
I'll go.
Okay. Max is like, I'm interested.
I mean, I'm not 100% like trusting this guy still, so.
Sure. He taps on the floor once again, and there's a hollow spot under one of the empty cages. He opens the door to that empty cage, and he pries this shovel that he brought along and pulls up a tile. And underneath that tile, there's a cavity. Pretty sizable underneath this cage. And he kind of pushes aside, and he starts lifting out a series of containers. They look like metallic urns.
Do they look like the urns that we were dealing with in Gregan's?
Give me a intelligence check. Whoever wants to check this, if you have knowledge planes, you can give me a knowledge planes check. Mayman, I will allow you, even if you're not trained in knowledge planes, to get a +2 on this subject.
Yeah, I would have general knowledge. I don't know about the urns from Gregan's, though.
Sure.
Max dealt with them a lot, so I would think Max.
Yep.
If you could roll for Max, he has like the best chance of.
Terrible roll though. Yeah, Madolfir, go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Oh, I already did. It was garbage. It was 4.
Oh yeah. Okay. Max does call out, however, even though the knowledge planes part was low, his baseline intelligence would tell him that these are similar to those urns. There is a written, almost like cuneiform, like hieroglyphic nature to some of the carvings around the rim that reminds him of the urns from Gregan's. And Render goes, these are what the Emperor was looking to gather.
We've had experience. We've had experience with these. I'm kind of interested in why the kingdom holds some of these. They caused a lot of problems in Gregan's.
Yes. Well, the kingdom wasn't holding it. We had allowed AFTA to maintain and hold on to these. He uses them to assist in his travels to various other planes. I'm not sure you understand what this stuff does. And he
We
kind of
understand.
like opens.
We understand enough. We've seen their handiwork at play.
He opens up the urn, and you notice that there's something different about the materials inside. It's not the finite, like the very fine, powdery, sand-like material that you saw in Gregan's. Here, it's almost like the pebbles you put in a fish tank size. A little bit bigger, more granular, like still grain size, but bigger. You can individually count them, let's say. And it's full. And now in this state, you can see a shimmering, almost opalescence to them. It's neither solid nor liquid, almost. You don't know how to describe it, but Max is understanding it a little bit better. As Render pulls it into his hands, it almost has like a mercurial movement to it. It doesn't, it's like a non-Newtonian fluid, where it's like he picks it up and it almost moves out of the way as his hand goes into it, and then it kind of flows out of his hand in a strange way. This is pure planar energy. Why does the Emperor need this? I'm not sure I'm in a place to tell you. But let's just say that it's important for us to recapture this from AFTA. It will give us some additional powers that otherwise would not be available to us in order to recoup those forces that are out of position.
Potentially also gives our enemies an advantage, especially if they know the properties.
He closes the urn again. Well, that's why we're going to keep the urns closed. And now you get the sense that there's something about the metallic nature of these urns. They're not brass. Max comes up and he kind of taps on it a little bit. And he goes, it's just gilding on the edges. The material is lead. And it starts kind of coming together for Max. This material, it had a strange effect in Gregan's. It almost was like it was channeling energy from other planes. You remember we fought that elemental beast that came out of nowhere?
Remember it clearly.
Let's, we got the cloak. Should we head back to the castle, or should we try to find the cleric? I'm a little bit nervous to let and he kind of whispers over to you guys away from Render, who is making sure that Afta's, conscious, or rather breathing. He's not conscious right now.
I can go give him a baby heal, like a baby aspirin's worth of heal.
Yeah, sure.
Before we head
out.
out.
Hug him, but you can touch him through the cage. While you do that, Max kind of just whispers to you, Midolfir and Landray. 1 point's not going to bring him back from where he is right now, but it helps. He still is unconscious, though. Render kind of goes, don't waste any more of that. I'll bring somebody over and have them tend to him. We have medics in the city guard. We have a couple still.
Yeah, but with 1 point of healing, he should be stabilized and okay, right? Even if he's still unconscious.
No, he actually had negative non-lethal damage points. So his non-lethal damage exceeded his hit points. And when that happens, he actually fell unconscious. Yeah. So he'll have to be brought back. He gains back 1 hit point naturally per hour. And if he's being healed by somebody else, it'll double that. So he'll be okay. gonna wake up with a headache. Max kind of like just leans in and just goes, I don't know how these are connected. I'm Max the character maybe knows. Max the player probably wouldn't. But he just kind of goes, yeah, the material in there, it's not as fine. It's almost like somebody was trying to spread the material in that last urn. This one's like almost concentrated. I don't know if they're going to use it like arcane wise. He kind of just thinks for a moment. He's like, there are certain arcane spells that rely on the other planes. And he looks at Mayman and he's like, there are spells that take you directly to the shadow plane. Flickerwisp used one once for us. I don't know how this material will affect that, but it seems like they might have some sort of arcane purpose with the material. And with his knowledge arcana check, let's see how far into the actual material properties he can get. Oh, he's got a really good knowledge arcana. Oh, but he rolled like shit. I would love to have some time to study it, but I don't think we're going to be able to get it from the Emperor. Maybe if they put it somewhere in the palace, I can have more time with it to figure out what the heck it does.
GM, who was it that was whispering to him while we were at Revenant's Hall before we headed this way? About they were talking about coming to collect us. Who was that he was talking to?
Oh, Render? Render was talking
yeah.
to essentially what's the equivalent of the mayor of the city. He's not part of the Imperial Court. He's part of the operations of the city. So it's the consort of the city. Must have gotten maybe permission to do this or knowledge of where its location was.
So I'm gonna look at Render. I'm gonna look at Render and say, so we're taking these to the king?
Well, to the Emperor, yes.
Well,
we need these. Emperor, yeah. Specifically, we need it for the Channeler. The Emperor asked me to go retrieve it so that the Channeler can have it.
Okay. As long as it's going to the Emperor, I guess.
And you know the Channeler is the person who brought the certain number of guards from the ship directly via teleportation.
Yeah.
Are we done here? These freaking weird monkeys are giving me the creeps.
They're just monkeys.
He takes a dagger and he notices the tentacles are still like fucking around up above trying to grab him, and he throws another dagger at one of the tentacles. He says, I don't like that thing either.
I mean, it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
You didn't see it up
the
close.
tentacles look fun.
You guys searching around this place for anything else?
I mean, I don't think we're here to like pilfer this dude. That'd probably be a little out of sorts.
Yep.
I guess what are we gonna like I don't know. Taking like our is his plan to go directly to the Emperor right now? Back to
he's
Citadel?
like he says, if you all want to go try to find Master Cleric Nantes, feel free, but I'm gonna go back to the Emperor. He needed this urgently.
I think it makes sense for us to go with him. I wouldn't want whatever this stuff is to go someplace not great.
Yeah, because we've already seen what happens when this stuff gets in the wrong hands. So
yeah,
more of a vested interest in making sure it arrives where it's supposed to go, and not be delivered into the hands of those who would seek to use it nefariously than anything. But yeah, I think I second that motion. We need to make sure this delivery gets delivered.
All right, you guys are currently over by number 34 in the Grim Ward. Render's ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and do one thing here. Max is gonna come up to Render and be like, "Hey, Render, just for safety reasons, do you want me to put that in the bag of holding?" And Max is gonna try a diplomacy check on this. going to run Render's sense motive. He's a wily old dude. He's seen some people try some things. He starts to hand the urn over, and then he kind of shakes it off and he goes, no, it's best if I hold on to it just to be safe, but I appreciate the offer, Max. And as you guys are walking back towards, I assume you guys are now walking through the streets back to the palace. Is there anything in particular you want to do on the walk?
I want to be watching the tops of the buildings for gathered crows.
Sure. You mean ravens?
Yes.
Yes, ravens. Okay. Anybody else have anything in particular as you're walking through the streets that you're kind of focused on?
I'm in pretty bad shape. So
yes.
Is there I might need some healing, but I think I can make it to the Citadel.
Max goes, we shouldn't risk it in case we run into any other encounters, which there will be a roll to check that. Random encounter potential. He's going to hand you the Cure Serious Wounds. And he goes, do you think it's important enough that we go ahead and use this potion? I only have the one.
I mean, I'll hold off.
Well, I have some light wounds if you just want to use those. I've got a few of those. I got 5 of those.
I could probably make it to the Citadel, and I have a Cure Moderate in case if something happens.
Okay. Noted. Anybody else? Max goes, potions. I can check through my scrolls. I do have a lot of scrolls.
I'm okay on potions for now.
Max goes, should we try to avoid... Oh, no, that wouldn't work. Sorry, I was looking at a fog cloud scroll that he has. He has... He says, should I cast a scroll of Tiny Hut and we just take a rest here? And Render kind of is like, no, we can make it back to the palace. Are you guys going to continue to the palace?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. He kind of gives up on that.
Hey, real quick, what level scrolls of healing does he have?
He doesn't have, that's what I was checking. He does not have any scrolls of healing.
Oh, I thought you said
potions.
My bad.
Yeah, no, I was looking through to see if he does. He's got a bunch of scrolls of like random stuff, but not that.
Okay, never mind.
Yep. He does have additional Cure Moderate Wounds in his haversack. I'm going to go ahead and put this out of his haversack so that it's clear because it has really minimal weight. Okay. Yeah, he does have some potions. As you guys move, with that diplomacy check, though, Potion of Fireball it is, Max continues to kind of like needle in about the material. So, like, this material, it helps with planar aspects. And Render goes, Max, I don't know all the magic mumbo-jumbo. All I know is it'll help the channeler do what he needs to do, but that we should avoid having prolonged contact or exposure with it. And Max kind of just goes, do you think I could just kind of look at it for a little bit while we're walking? And Render goes, all right, I guess it's only like a 15 or 20 minute walk. I suppose that's okay, but I'm going to hold it. So he does so, and as Max looks through it, he notices something peculiar. The area around the urn itself almost takes on, even though there's torchlight as you guys are walking through the street, because he needs it, it takes on almost like a gray tone. Any of the yellowish colors of fire, of light, take on a gray tone in almost like a 5-foot sphere pulse around the urn. And that pulse is kind of like, and it's kind of growing slowly, like 1 inch at a time on each pulse. And Render kind of puts the cap back on, and he's like, okay, that's enough. I don't know what kind of, I don't want to get sick from this stuff. You guys make it towards the warehouses.
I'm just gonna ask Max as we're walking. Are you sensing danger from this? Where's your mind at, Max?
So, from what I can gather thus far, I think it's something that weakens the divisions between the planes. It's almost like there's another plane that's overlapping that, because of the presence of it, is more aligned to this plane. Remember how Ivandir had those crystals? And he was trying to arrange them in the outlets.
I remember.
It was almost like he was trying to tap into raw planar magic or contain it. I don't know what he was trying to do. But this material reminds me of those crystals, and more specifically, it reminds me of when we were in Mechanus. The flowing water that was in Mechanus had a similar strange nature to it. Opalescent, looking like water, but not flowing like water. And Render kind of looks over his shoulder. All right, kind of keep pace. I don't want to be out here longer than we need to. Lanray, Mayman. Any thoughts on this? Mayman, you're from the Shadow Plane. You know it well.
Does it look like the Shadow Plane? Like, I don't... I have no context for any of the stuff the party did before I showed up,
Sure.
so none of the stuff made sense, but if it looks like the Shadow Plane, I would say something.
It doesn't look like the Shadow Plane per se. That kind of gray tone. The Shadow Plane somewhat has that, let's call it design aesthetic. But it's not, it didn't look like that now. What it seemed like was like whatever perception of light, of reality that you experience on this plane, in this material plane, it seemed like it was static, confusing that reality when the urn was opened. Like when you mix two paint colors together and it kind of turns into a different color. You guys make it all the way to this point. I'm going to need somebody to roll a 1d100. You're going to want to avoid very high numbers. So who wants to roll a 1d100?
I guess I don't mind doing it. Said 1d100.
1d100. Okay, it's still a pretty high number. Not high enough. You guys don't run into any encounters at this point. You guys see the opening walls of the Citadel. If you had rolled higher than a 90, there would have been a random chance encounter with something, which would be problematic given your current state. You guys do make it to the gates of the Citadel. And looking in, you do see some of the new guards that came via the teleportation already sort of positioning around the Citadel walls, keeping an eye out. You also notice that some of the city guards that would normally be on patrol have begun reinforcing the Citadel specifically. So that's why the streets were so quiet. You don't see Master Cleric Nantes. As you enter the walls of the Citadel, you make it back to the palace, and eventually into the throne room. You do not notice any ravens, Adolphir. That was part of the 1d100 roll. There were none to be seen. Within the throne room, you do find the Emperor. What are you guys doing as Render kind of presents the urn to the Emperor? Just watching?
Madolfer's going to kind of just whisper to Max. When we were in the Outer Plains, it was readily apparent to us that we did not want those crystals to achieve what they were trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And it seems like all of our efforts at this point has been to keep whatever those were trying to do from happening even here.
Yeah, I agree, but
And
we're
you're-
kind of sitting
and
ducks in here.
And you're telling me that this stuff is the same? Could the
What I
emperor,
s-
could the emperor just be falling into a course of action that he doesn't understand with this stuff? Who is it that was asking for this? The channeler. Do we know anything about this channeler?
Max kind of absorbing all of that. It does seem like it's an act of desperation. I don't know why the city contained this material, why they allowed AFTA to have it to go do whatever he's doing to capture these strange planar beings. It seems like it was some sort of agreement that they had from what I overheard. It seems like an act of desperation. I think maybe it's because we're kind of sitting ducks and he's looking for something to get the guards back here quicker. That's the only thing I can think of, because the channelers seems to be the only person who can teleport right now, which is kind of crazy. I don't understand why we don't have more defenses here. And we can't reach anybody from this planetarium, from the Planetum, because I've got the other stone. And he pulls up the stone that you guys got from the town folk who had the other rock. So I can't even reach out to Darius to find out if they're okay.
Try it again,
So-
Max. Right now. Try it.
Max kind of just like rolls his eyes and he holds up both of the stones and he says, Adolphir, I'm holding both of the stones.
Wait. How does he... I thought... Hold on. Sorry, out of character.
Yep.
When did we get the other stone? I thought...
It was when you guys were walking through the city and Max reached out and the dog barking guy picked up and he was like, yeah, my dog just brought the stone back in. And you guys...
Oh, shit, yeah, okay. Okay, then I'm not going to tell him to do that. Because
The channeler is standing directly next to the Emperor right now in his blue robes. As soon as the urn is presented, he looks ready to go ahead and start doing some things to.
Okay.
Yep.
Before he does that, I'm like, Max, do you know this person from your histories with the planet? Talking about the channel.
Max kind of goes through his brain repository and he's like, I don't think so. I've never seen him before. He might be an abjuration wizard though, and I'm not really into all that. It's one of those things that I just don't do. It's forbidden for me for whatever reason. I don't get why that is.
I'm gonna speak up, man, because I'm as a player and Adolphir as a character, just like there's something wrong about this. So I'm gonna call out to the Emperor. I don't know the proper title. I'm just gonna call him Emperor. Hear me out, please.
He holds up his hand to stop the channeler from picking up the urn. Yes?
I think you're making a grave mistake by using this material. And then give him just kind of a cliff notes of our experience with similar material and our journey to that. Outer Planes and the fact that it was being used by, by an evil entity to try to achieve a goal, which seemed like it was going to be overlapping another plane into this one for the purpose of meeting a goal that they were trying to meet, right?
I've received the notice. I've read the report.
This is the same material, though. And I'm going to look over the channeler. I want to make a sense motive check on the channeler on his
Sure.
reaction to me saying this right now.
Okay.
Not great.
That's pretty good. 20.
I mean, I'm not great at the check.
Yeah, it's a damn good roll.
So I'm
Natural
going
20.
I'm going to at that point, and I'm going to say, how well do you know your channeler? How long has he been in your service? And I'm going to lock eyes with the channeler.
Okay, with that, the channeler seems almost like taken aback to some extent. He's like, me? And he kind of like looks around. And he's like, me? He kind of speaks up. I have served the Emperor for many a decade. He had selected me from the Planetum many years before for my capabilities to serve for the Empire. And he kind of looks to the Emperor and gives him like a reassuring nod. And the Emperor goes, yes, I trust him with my life. I appreciate what you're saying, Medolfir, and obviously your group has defended this city and this empire, and myself and my family, with the utmost loyalty, and that shall be noted. I have read all of Chorus's reports, and I will say that what Chorus might not have shared with you is that this material is not unknown to us. And Chorus kind of like nods. It is why Chorus was sent to the Gnomish lands long ago. It is why we sent out several envoys to retrieve this material from Gnomish territory. There are not many of these left, but it is known that they come from an era of the ancient gnomes, when they were able to tap into other planes for arcane purposes. And while we do know of the side effects, such as those that occurred in Greggans, and potentially those that are still affecting the city, and I tell you this, assuming that you all will keep this information perhaps in confidential nature. I believe I can trust you now with that. But many of the ails of the weather we know to have been caused by that incident in Greggans, and potentially another incident still unknown. Chorus has told me about Ivandir and what you all did. It is possible that what Ivandir accomplished in the Hidden Woods, he's giving you details that really you guys only ever told Chorus. So clearly Chorus told him all of the details. In the Hidden Woods, when you went to visit your friend's deity, that planar magic, that planar field, could have been affected. We do know that, well, I am told, I'm not really a religious type, but I am told that the presence of Obed High is what keeps much of the natural world in the order that it is. And so it's possible that the weather and the changes that we've seen upon this world are connected to that incident. That being said, we will survive. We will continue. I will continue to lead my people in the best way that we can. And to do so, I unfortunately need to act upon this, let's say, volatile, radioactive substance to bring back those forces that I have errantly sent out.
The problem is, this is a desperation move, and your enemies know how to utilize and tap into this power as well. They may be waiting for you to use it to strike.
It's possible. It's possible that by using this to fight my enemy today, there's unknown dangers that come from it. But I don't believe any of our intelligence on Lady Veladrake, as little as it may be, and as much of it has come from you all, I do not believe that she is connected to this. Don't believe that her presence has any overlap with what the separatist gnomes were attempting. May still be attempting. I understand the worry, but in order to address potentially a future harm, we must take seriously the dangers that Veladrakes pose on us today. My goal as Emperor is to hold Bastion in this city, protect it, bringing back the forces, and we shall deal with the repercussions of the weather, of the whatever this planar disturbance is, once we've addressed the current threat. Give me a I need you to give me a will save. Don't fear.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's a hell of a time to roll a nat 20. Okay.
Wow.
You sense that same issue that rose within you when you were speaking with Simon Willett. You're not a person to really take on these kinds of conversations. The sweaty palms, the feeling on the back of your neck, but you calm yourself, you control yourself. In this moment,
I am going to say this, GM, just before you go any further. I clicked the wrong thing. I rolled a wisdom, not a...
It's fine. The roll is the roll, so I'm going to keep it because it's a really damn good roll. Okay. It is a nat 20. Mayman, Lanray. Max is kind of like looking at Medolfir and just kind of nodding and going, yeah, I don't think we can take on Veladrake without more assistance. We can't be watching the Emperor at the same time as potentially finding them at the same time as healing ourselves. Veladrake has it out for all of us. Maybe not Mayman.
It's because I'm better looking.
Yeah, it's because he's played. I don't even know what you look like. You always have that helmet.
It's a fine looking helmet.
But don't fear, you mouth the chorus that it's a bad idea. I'm going to continue your sense motive check and tell you, man, you rolled 2 nat 20s in a row, by the way. I just noticed that. Yeah. You notice that chorus kind of just looks dismayed, but, you know, he's falling into the line of command. The Emperor is stating this is the path forward. So he sort of straightens up and stands, you know, at his call. Yeah, hey man, you definitely sense tactically like Horus internally had a moment of kind of like listening to the group and hearing it out, but then realized his duties.
There's nothing else we can do. I'm just gonna like tap Motofuel on the shoulder and say, listen, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, it seems like the Emperor's going to do this. We can just bulk up and get ready for the consequences.
The Channeler opens the urn, and the Emperor tells him, proceed. Bring me back whatever you can bring me back this evening. And the Channeler, instead of teleporting, takes kind of a handful of this stuff and begins inscribing the ground in the palace room with it, rubbing his hands onto the ground. And it spreads. It spreads strangely, but it does spread and hold onto... okay, noted. Yeah, it's like sidewalk chalk, but it's like sidewalk chalk that is still almost like moving, but the liquid isn't moving. The opalescent shimmer moves, as if it's like a charge of electricity moving through as he inscribes. And as he finishes the pattern on the ground, he begins focusing his own arcane energy into it, casting a very high level spell. Max is going to attempt to recognize it.
Spellcraft? I mean, he spellcrafts everything.
Yeah, he's going to spellcraft it. So let me see. It's a very high level spell that is in his restricted. But let me see what it is. Okay, what did you roll? Oh, you rolled a 1. That is actually, for once, it's amazing when he's not here. That is actually not enough to recognize what this spell is. However, as the spell continues, you now see instantaneously that ring start to form into some kind of arcane gate that forms like a hologram above the pattern that he drew on the floor, above it like a hologram. And you see all sorts of strange visions through this gate. You see a massive crystal with different kinds of facets, and within each facet is a reflection of some strange otherworldly places. You see a place that is dark and inky and endless, with flying winged creatures. One of those creatures approaches the facet of the crystal and slams against it and falls back. There's another place that reminds you of where you guys were in the Outlands, of nature and primordial elements, all within this large crystal at the center of this gate that is opened up. And the channeler with the gate open casts another spell into it. And you see, Mayman, an image that reminds you of your plane, your shadow plane now formed. And through it, it's like a tunnel that carves through the crystal. The crystal almost is enveloping it, but it's going through it like there's a hole now in it. And you see on the other end a ship out at sea. And you see persons standing on that ship looking back through the tunnel as they line up almost in military order, starting to march towards and into the tunnel, 2 by 2, off of the ship. And the channeler holds this spell and focuses intently. You watch as his concentration is completely upon this spell. Are you guys doing anything as this happens?
I'm going to look out to see if there's anything that is not or trying to interrupt the channeler. If he punched a hole through the shadow plane, I don't want anything to spoil the spell. You know what I mean? So I would be looking around outside of the channeler to make sure he's not attacked.
Okay. You do see at various times within this gate that is opened, it's open in both directions. There are people coming through the shadow plane tunnel that's occurring, but there are other beings that encircle, almost like vultures, right? They are attempting to also break through whatever this gate is, this thinning of a veil that has occurred. But they haven't figured it out yet. The demon-type creatures, the winged creatures that you see in that inky land, they're circling whatever parts of the faceted crystal that they can experience, can see, but they bump off like birds hitting a window, not understanding that that's not an opening. You see others also, devil-like beings. You see abnormal creations of magical might in an outer plane. You see fire beings. At this moment, though, there is such concentration that they are being held away. The Emperor looks at you all and says, "Now you understand. This material is the only way I can move my military. with such ease and efficiency. I do not believe Lady Belladrake knows of this. This is a force that maybe is too ancient even for the Belladrakes. Yeah. So you're watching Mayman, the Emperor, as he sort of says this. Nobody else in the room is interrupting. The guards are standing a post. I do, however, need a will save from Lanray, and I need one from Mayman. Okay. Mayman. Yours is a lower DC that you have to. Okay. Double check something. Okay. Yeah, you're not very familiar. All right. Both of you get a sense suddenly within your souls, within yourselves. There's some sort of weird feeling, like you're being watched or attempted to be watched, and your inner wills kind of fight off that feeling. You shake it off and feel a sense of privacy.
I just look at the party and say, I think we're still being tracked, or at least their Belladrake might be trying to track us.
Yeah, I explained the feeling or what just happened to Max. I'm like, hey, I don't know what happened, but I got a weird inky, whatever the words GM used.
They're scrying on us. I wonder how many times they've done that since our encounter.
I will tell the Emperor that you do know that the Belladrakes are scrying on us right now.
And that they likely know that this exists now.
The Emperor looks at the other mage figure that came back via the channeler. And he begins casting a separate spell. Essentially attempting to stop any potential scrying in the area. Max goes, man, I really wish I knew how to do that spell. Max is like, I gotta learn how to counter scry. And with that, the Emperor says, then I ask you all to leave the room so that there's no potential risk of that occurring. She cannot see what we don't show her. And the Emperor himself is touched by the spell that the other mage was casting.
I mean, I don't know if we are the only ones that are being scryed upon. I'm just telling you that the Belladrakes absolutely can scry unless you want to prevent her from scrying on anyone in this room. She has knowledge of, I am sure she has knowledge of you, as well as many of the people in the military. She's lived in the circle.
The mage, whose name you haven't picked up yet, who's not the channeler, kind of like smirks and goes, yes, well, that is why I cast Detect Scrying when everyone entered the room. And it now kind of makes sense to you, Lanray and Mayman, as to why you were able to sense that a scry was being attempted. He must have cast a Detect Scrying emanating from himself. And he says, so long as you're within 40 feet of me, if someone is trying to scry, we will know it. And the Emperor is protected from all scrying currently.
So we're just going to stay within 40 feet of you? Is that the...
As long as you want to stay private, that's the case, yes. And it'll last for the whole day.
Wait, he's asking us to leave, or...
The Emperor is asking you to leave so that there's no chance that a successful scry will work. He has now been protected from scry himself, and the other mage in the room is basically telling you, as long as you stay next to me, Veladrake also, we'll know if Veladrake is scrying on us at least.
So stand next to him or leave are the choices, or are they just saying leave?
Those are the choices. The Emperor would accept that.
Well, and he's near the Emperor, right?
Pretty close, yep. Within 40 feet, definitely.
So, can I position to be within him close enough to be within 30 feet of the Emperor so that I can react to anything that may occur near the Emperor?
Yep.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving the room, and I'm going to take that position.
Okay, understood. Max continues to watch the gate intently. I need somebody to roll 3d100. Each one of those 100s. Who wants? Each of you can roll one 1d100 if you want. Yeah, let's do it that way. Everybody roll me one 1d100. Okay. Low is good. Low is always good with a 1d100.
What's the syntax in the chat?
It's /roll, so it's different than Discord. It's you write out roll to do it.
Yeah, and then space.
Okay. Yes. Okay, with those 3 checks, the beings that Max is watching, the horrific figures, the gargoyle-like monstrosities, they stay at bay while this continues. Beyond the time frame in which a gate should continue, and Max is just like shaking his head and looking at the group and saying, this shouldn't be possible. He's holding open a channel through the shadow plane longer than this spell should last. Almost like permanency, but he's holding it with concentration. And after about, I'm going to say 10, 20 minutes passes of this act that is occurring, beings start coming through. And at first, the channeler kind of calls out, do not be alarmed. These are our allies. And 2 by 2, the forces that were on that ship start coming into the room. A dozen at first. And it starts filling up the room pretty quickly. There's at least 5 dozen soldiers that come through. And eventually it starts slowing, and there is nobody coming after the last 2. And the channeler goes, I think that's the last of them. And I need you guys to roll one more 1d100 each. Yay!
Whoever rolled the 95, it's your fault.
Maybe.
It's mine. Yeah.
Okay, there are like 48 to 50 soldiers in this room at this point. They are filled up and they've started scattering about the room, and the channeler calls out, my lord, I believe that's all of them. And the Emperor kind of calls out and says, very well, you know your orders, you've been told. Take to the grounds and make sure everything is protected. And generally, most of the guards leave. 8 of them remain in this room. As the channeler confirms, I must close the gate, but it takes a moment to undo the magic. And he holds concentration as he starts to almost wipe the floor of the material, gathering it once more in his hands. It has not disappeared. It is still on the ground, and he's able to scoop it up and put it back in the urn.
Do the 8 that don't leave the room, is it like they're purposely like ignoring the order, or are they following an order to remain?
The 8 seem to be following an order to solidify in the throne room now, because there's been so few guards available within the Citadel. They seem to be standing guard now in the throne room.
I want to get right next to the Emperor at this point.
Okay. The magic of that gate starts pulsing, and Max is like, oh, that's getting a little bit unstable. And he starts kind of taking steps back from it. And as he does, the channeler continues to clean up. Within the gate, you see the winged creatures that have been circling. As he's cleaning up, there's a pulse of energy within the gate, in that facet of the crystal, almost like a burst. and it expands out from the crystal. And those beings now start flying quickly out of the crystal. There are 3 winged demons that are now coming through the gate as he hurriedly tries to rush to clean it up. He is not going to be able to close the gate in time. Just as he scoops it up with the final bit, the beings come through whatever this window is into the other planes. They are now in this room. You all may react.
Can I wish. Okay. I'm gonna drink the potion of cure moderate and light myself in front.
Okay, go ahead and do so. That is going to be cure moderate wounds.
I just clicked the button. It's 12 points.
Yep, go ahead and add 12 points. Anybody else doing something as a reaction to this, it is going to be instantaneous, single action.
I'm gonna use my arm to move the Emperor behind me and position myself in between the Emperor and the beings and get my sword at the ready.
Okay, you can do that. Max is going to go ahead and use one of the cure light wounds on himself. So he gets back 6. Lanray, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna basically knock an arrow and get ready to fire.
Okay, the Emperor calls out, "Shit, there are 3 coming through!" As the Channeler finally closes it up. Just in the moment behind, there were others trailing behind. Only the 3 come through as the gate closes behind them. The other guards immediately take to their pikes. And that is where we will leave it. What's the bite for Varg?
Defending stance on the Emperor.
Yes, thank you. And that is successful. So he will be doing that same kind of protective stance with the Emperor. Next time we join back up, you guys have gotten yourself into another instantaneous battle here.
Good.
Oh, man.
Hey, GM, I don't know if you saw my chat. I think I failed to fully level up, so I will be doing that now.
I will say during this this ceremony that was occurring, you had time to kind of like focus on that. So before next session, your full level up will be completed.
Oh,
all right.
I did have a question. So, like, and you may just be waiting until the end of an arc for this, and if you are, that's fine. I've been watching my experience. Are you not adding like the little chunks of experience we've been getting as we've been going along for the last few sessions?
Oh no, I have been. So I haven't added obviously what Afta's encounter was, and I didn't add the ogre fight yet either.
Okay.
So I will add both of those now. They were kind of like tandem. I knew that it wasn't going to affect anybody except for Mayman, who already had leveled up. So the rest of you guys are pretty far away from leveling up to the next level.
Close.
Are you? You're like 3,000 away. That's a pretty serious battle.
That's close enough.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Good session. That was fun.
Yeah, good session, man. That
good
fight.
Session, everybody.
The fight at the beginning of the session was really fun.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your Sundays.
All right,
see y'all.
Later.
Later.